Look, today we actually know when we started.
Yeah.
So we're starting right now.
Mm-hmm.
See, there was no
pregame.
We're not pregame. We were talking shit, and then all of a sudden we're like, "Oh shit!"
I think Philly's becoming more conservative.
I know he legit let us know. He's like, "Guys, one finger up in the air, like, excuse me."
In 5, 4,
countdown,
3.
You make sure you don't finish the last couple of numbers.
It's the last two, right? It's the last two or last three. I don't know what the television thing is. It's 5,
3.
4.
After 3, it's like,
and then
yeah. So wait, 5, 4, 3.
When I'm coming, it's kind of the same thing. It's like I'm coming, and then the last couple of pumps, I'm just like.
Have you ever tried to stop it? Can any man stop it? Like when you're down to 1.
It's called edging, Cianan.
That's a word?
Yeah.
Wait, what? So edging means
look. Like, say for example,
you're
like,
stop your nut.
Say for example, you're doing sex. Okay.
So you're doing the sex.
And then like right when you feel like the little sensation in your pelvic region, right? You just like pull out and you're like, whoa, all right, let me just take a break.
Okay, I don't mean that. I mean right after that, like the semen's literally in your.
Well, there is a point of no return.
That's what I was gonna say. No man can really stop that.
There's a pump that if you go too far, Joe's like, Joe, you have 2 kids, bro. You got no pull out game.
2 kids in 35 years.
That's true.
Oh, way to open up that Pandora's box.
Welcome all to episode 61 of the None of Our Business podcast. We are your hosts, Philly Fanatic, P Money, P Steezy, Phil, Silent Tempo, Philanthropy, Philosophy, Sane, and one that's not heard too often, Philip Castellanos.
Wait, what? Oh.
We use my Cianan, government name.
CNN Dunkaroos. Cianan. I did. C-section, C-notice, see your ass out of here. C4. Cianan.
See these nuts. You said see these.
Doodlebug. Junkie.
You're not the only one that called me Doodlebug recently because of the episode.
My little Doodlebug.
Thanks, Mom.
And I'm Joe. Hey, guys. So welcome. We're 61 episodes in, and in no way is that depressing.
We're just getting younger.
We had a stellar episode last week. I hardly ever go back or discuss old episodes, but no, I mean like discuss them like on the day's podcast. I'd never say, last week, but I think I might have done that a couple of times. Never mind.
It was very. I thought,
but it's very rare that I actually call back an episode. So last week's episode was fun.
It was
dope.
It was.
I like that we kept it. It
was family
rated
fun.
R.
Yeah,
we kept it rated R.
I'd
like to say we kept it rated R. It wasn't rated X. We tried to compose ourselves, especially you, Cianan. So you did a great job.
Did I? I felt like.
Did I?
I don't know. I felt like I did say some things that were. I didn't say it every 5 seconds. I don't know. I think I was more wanting my mom to say all the dirty, nasty stuff so people know where I get it from.
You did it once, and when you did it,
the Titanic part, right?
Everybody was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Your mom was like, "Well, that's my son."
That's the thing, yeah.
But it's weird because
I get it from my mama.
Because usually what Cianan does when he meets someone is he'll say exactly one of those joke types just to see how people respond, right, Cianan?
Yeah.
Like if they can't handle you,
what's my mom though? So she knows. I don't know. That's why I was wanting.
Does she know how dirty you are?
Yes, and that's the thing. I wanted people to know how dirty she was too, but because it's off camera,
she kept it rated R too.
Yeah, I think so. But I think so. There's something with the mics where people think, oh no, I'm gonna host the Oscars one day, so I'm not gonna make sure I say anything too crazy.
Fuck that.
So, and I think it's natural. I think everybody does it, even in a public forum. Like I think people, when they want to see speakers say something, unless they give no fucks, naturally they go to a suppressive mode of their real thoughts. I think everybody suppresses their real thoughts.
Let's ask the listener. Do you change up the way you talk depending on who you're around? Other than work, of course, because
and work, that's true.
With work, it makes sense. It makes sense. But like, are you afraid to talk nasty in front of your parents? Send us a DM or just slide into my DMs if you want. You know,
hey, he's got.
No, Philly needs to be cut off to be slid in his DM. Keenan needs people to be slid in his DM. That's what needs to happen.
I'll give you a DM.
Philly,
ladies and gentlemen.
I'm gonna have a T-shirt.
Slide into Keenan's DMs.
Fuck Philly, and then hashtag slide into my DMs.
I'm gonna send Keenan a bunch of dick pics in his DMs.
Ooh. If you're listening to this now, make sure to send Keenan all your dick pics.
Don't be surprised if you get anything back.
Slide the dick pics into his
or you get something back. Like what?
I was about to put myself on some kind of accountability thing.
Oh, you were?
I was gonna say like for every dick pic you send Keenan, and as I was thinking about that, I said hell no, because people might actually do it.
I like to see that. I don't think anybody would do it. I think some girls would do it as a joke and send me a dick pic, but I don't know if they'll.
If for every dick pic Keenan shows us, we will do
like that people sent him, right?
Yeah, that people send him. For every dick pic that Keenan gets, we will do.
Hey, hold on. What's all this? We don't just volunteer me.
We will do.
I said.
Oh, and it can't be a close friend either, because that's too easy. They're obviously going to send me a dick pic. It has to be somebody like.
Wait. Do your close friends send you dick pics?
No.
He can't be a close friend either. I mean, I get those all day.
No, I mean, like to do the challenge. It's too
he wants
easy.
Novelty here, folks. He wants novelty.
It's too easy. I feel like they would do it once listening. Like, oh yeah, of course I'm gonna do it.
You know, we jest, but there are girls out there every day
They
getting
send
just
pics?
barrages of dick pics.
Oh.
Some accounts are completely dedicated to girls just showing how these guys would be sending them
It
dick
doesn't
pics.
make sense why they think that is a clever way in, or maybe they think it's a joke or something like that. But to think that the girl will like it and then message you back, I just don't know in the head, because we all know guys like that will just
send a dick pic
and think that will get the girl's attention and be like, oh, it looks good, I'm gonna call you up and come over.
I
and bang
don't
you.
I don't know guys like that. At least I don't think I do.
You never met guys like that who send dick pics?
I can't say I have, Keenan. Well, who send dick pics? Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying.
Requested dick pics maybe, but
what do you mean?
Not a dude just be like, oh, I'm just gonna send this bitch dick pic, and
from like meeting him on Bumble or something,
or even if they know him, but like, oh, she's gonna like this. Boom. I don't think I've ever met anyone who said.
For me, funnier than a dick pic is like the dudes who will slide into a girl's DMs. Hey, what's up? Or your shirt looks hot, and then she doesn't respond. So like 10 minutes later, they're like, well, you're an ugly bitch anyways. Nobody likes you. And then it's like,
I was actually shown that by my roommate.
That's actually like very low self-confidence.
Yeah.
Like, for sure. Sure.
Like if your ego is hurt because she didn't, first of all, you don't even know if she's busy.
Is that a guy thing though? Is that what we're presenting?
A lot of guys do that shit.
I don't think it has anything to do with whether or not they're busy. It's like disrespectful.
To not answer?
No. To expect the response. Because like we're not
even text messages, right?
Yeah, we're nothing special. Like
well, speak for yourself, bro.
My mom told me I was special on the episode last week, so
yeah, she didn't she? Yeah.
Did she also pat your butt and say it's unique and no one else in the world?
She did change my diaper on the episode too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our little doodle bug.
Dude, that would be super weird if some grown ass man was still getting like his underwear changed and like
that'd be weird as
fuck. So you said someone that you know, before we get back onto the topic, someone that you know called you doodle bug, and you were like, where the fuck did you get that information?
No, they got it from the episode.
You were like, Dwight, you were like, identity theft is a real problem.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just talking about how the mindset of the dudes that would do silly, ridiculous stuff, thinking that is going to get.
I mean, the audacity of us thinking that, this is a gift to a woman. Like,
I think it's the equivalent of like the cat calls and stuff. Like, you really think some girl, or how often has a girl answered to your cat call?
My suspicion is the dudes that cat call, the dudes that chase a girl down a block for 20 fucking blocks.
The crazy stuff.
And the dudes that send the dick pics, and the dudes who go, oh, well, fuck you then, bitch. All of them I think, shoot their shot anyways because they don't even believe they can actually get a response.
So they're just doing it for shock value?
Well, it's like people who started a business with no idea who the product is for. They're like, I'll figure it out. And it's just hope marketing. That's what that is. And it's sad because what they fail to realize is it impacts the way women see men.
For sure.
I literally left
Like one bad apple ruins the whole bunch?
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
How often do you guys see the posts that are like, if he doesn't hit you back, sis, walk away from him, right? Like on like IG or whatever. There's something to that sentiment, right?
Something to the equivalency of that.
Right,
Yes,
right.
I've seen that.
So there was one in particular where it said something about like, if he doesn't hit you back, then find another one or something like
So
that.
that's the same thing with, oh, yeah, sorry.
And so I left
excited.
a comment just to see what was going on because it looked like a popular thread. And I was like, okay, well, if for whatever reason we broke up and you don't hit me back, I'm not going to hit you back. Like it's a two-way street, something along those lines. And some girl out of nowhere hits back. And she was like, well, yeah, well, I don't know. You guys have a lot of traits like dogs. I always seem to be chasing something. And I was like, wait, what?
So it's not a gender thing. The women
You'd be
too
like, first
also.
off, I don't chase.
She came at me
shit.
crazy. But what made me feel different about it or some type of way was that she's trying to say all men are like dogs.
Yeah, a lot of women I come across will use the word all, every, men, or just say men in general without saying most men, some men I interacted with, or, you know, the men that I've heard or seen about.
I was going to say something else. The men that you've what?
What? No, I'm giving an example. I'm trying to
I
back
know.
up.
No. And as men, can we agree that for the most part,
I'm a boy.
a lot of dudes are fucking trash?
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
I
sitting
don't
next
think-
to two right now.
I don't think they need to specify that some men or most men.
Well,
I don't-
it ruins the
I
whole
think
statement.
we're all trash. I
Oh,
honestly
okay.
do think.
Oh, then that's Joe's thing.
You think all of us are just
really
straight
think Men are
trash?
trash. We're trash. We're trash. We're entitled creatures.
I'll go on further and say I think all humans are trash.
I can agree with that too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's true.
But
yeah.
men more so. I feel like men are more trash than women are. Because there's at
Just
least some sense of dignity,
genetically born.
Just in general. Yeah, I honestly do.
I disagree, but yes.
You can disagree. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
go
I'm-
on. Finish your point here. Let's see where you're going.
But
with this.
I honestly do think that how I mean, look at us.
I know
we do a podcast where we talk all sorts of nastiness.
Yeah, bro, speak for
But
your
that doesn't
fucking
make us.
self.
That doesn't make us trash. Or that
No,
doesn't
I
make
mean
us
in the sense
genetically
that
born.
no. What I mean is in the sense of like, yeah, we're a little nastier than most women are.
Well,
Man, the
is
shit that I've been reading.
But is that because what Philly said a long time ago about, and maybe I think you said in private, in the sense of like women feel very uncomfortable to talk about certain dirty, nasty things.
I mean,
or
for the
something like that.
longest time, women were the inferior.
seen
sex.
as
Seen as, yeah,
the inferior
yeah.
sex.
So technically,
Correct.
they may
Seen
not
as.
be as nasty or less nasty. It's just because we suppress them so much.
We've suppressed them for millennia.
But I
you
think
know?
that
like,
counteracts your statement that they are really just like us, but we prevented the know-how for us to be, oh yeah, you are just as nasty as us. Like your statement is saying we're way nastier than them, but in
not
reality,
just, not just in nasty as far as like
oh yeah,
sexual perversion.
I just
but,
mean like
we're war machines. We're like, you know, there's a lot of things that implicate us as being.
and I think we do that not by accident, but because of the way we formulated this world as men, it ruined the opportunity to actually see the opposite, and they might just be as war vicious. Or I mean, we've seen women hit men for just verbal
for sure.
conversation.
Who do you think can keep a secret longer, a man or a woman?
I would say longer.
I mean,
say a
why
woman for sure.
don't we leave
I'd
it?
say a
I
woman.
would say a woman for sure. Men,
I would say a
men slip
woman.
up way too quickly.
we're the type of beings that will flaunt us conquering something,
right.
and you know,
I agree with that.
Keep it then to keep it a secret, or you know, like,
Exactly.
I'm there are plenty of times when a man like will sleep with a female and be like, yo, I knocked that out,
Yeah.
knocked it out,
Right.
you know, like it's
Right next to her, right behind is like, oh, fuck.
So it's no better to be the person who flaunts their conquests and someone who keeps the conquest a secret.
No, I just feel I truly believe that we're equal in all formats. It's just because of our male history, we kind of ruined the opportunity, at least up until now, to actually see how equal we are in everything. Like I said, I think humans in general are
Trash. Okay.
Yeah.
I fuck
All right.
with that.
All right.
I fuck with that.
I fuck
Keith.
with you,
I
Joe.
fuck with you, my guy.
I fuck with
Hey,
you.
my guy.
Well,
Love it.
let's do it right now. Let's bang it out.
I
It's like, what? I was like,
didn't
stop,
say that.
stop.
I was like, we're boys, man, but
Real quick, I just want to say everybody needs to chill the fuck out with the fucking coronavirus.
Oh, so now we're going back on that. First, it would seem very serious, and now it's like, it's kind of fake.
Who said it was serious?
We did.
I never said it
I
was
thought we
serious.
kind of came to that agreement.
With who?
Didn't we say that this might be some shit?
No, I never said that.
We didn't say that in the last episode.
who are you having conversations with?
Last
Kenan?
episode, I think we talked about it. Like all four of us were like, this thing might be some serious outbreak shit.
You know what?
My stance
Really?
is we've had
Keenan might be right. I don't remember what I said the last episode.
Okay. Well,
I can't because I've kind of held the same stance this whole time.
Hmm.
As far as I'm concerned,
you think
the
it's bullshit.
coronavirus isn't any more aggressive or more of a threat than
AIDS
like
or something?
SARS
Okay.
or
SARS
the
is still
Zika
around?
virus. Yeah, those
That stuff's still going?
Zika exactly, and
What?
you don't even know.
Damn, don't
Like
get mad.
no,
right?
but
The
that's what I'm
government-
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
SARS, H1N1, all
It's
this
still going
the
around.
pig flu, all the bird flu, all this
Anthrax?
shit. Yeah. At the time, they were like, "Oh my god, it's
Right,
the
right.
end of the world. The people are dying across the world." Like
It's like Y2K.
and then it was
Right.
gone. Yeah, like
I wish we had another white.
so that's how I see this coronavirus. It's just another reason for people to like freak out and post a shitload of videos with zero references and
Okay.
all this shit. And I'm like, dude,
Well, how do you
chill
feel
the
about
fuck
how do you
out.
feel about the firefighters versus the cops in France that isn't being
What
covered.
is this? What firefighters in France?
Yeah, so there's like this. It's not really being covered, and in fact, the French papers are talking about how upset they are that it's got no mainstream attention
It's like a war going
because
on.
everybody's worried about this. Yeah, there's some socio-political upheaval happening in France right now, and firefighters are lighting themselves on fire to symbolize like them standing with the people, and the cops, because they want Macron, I think is his name, out of office, and the police are literally hitting firefighters with batons, telling them to like get the fuck out of the way, that they shouldn't be working with the public. Oh, what
It's
is
just
that?
really exciting, so I thought you might want to see
I
it.
can't see shit. Your phone.
Oh, god damn it!
That's what can I say about that? I mean, I don't know enough of it, but also like France itself has been in a bit of a
They had that shutdown or whatever, that government thing, right?
they've been a little turbulent anyway.
They've had problems.
yeah,
Where they had to
and
close down the streets and had like
But that you would be more concerned with understanding what's going on there.
zero,
Zero.
little to no.
Because
we-
you're like, it doesn't change.
well, we talked about
what
that.
did it do to me? It hasn't done shit.
So
to me.
what are some things people should take serious? Like, okay, so because news is a big thing right now, right? Everybody's always on the next thing.
News has always been a thing,
Right, like-
Yeah.
No, but what I mean, like with social media making it even more prevalent
Mhm.
and making it easier to get into your head because you got conspiracy theories in general.
Mm.
And then you have all these virus breakouts and you have all the shit that's happening around the world. In your own opinion, let's start with Joe here. Which of these things should ever be a concern? Should people look at that shit and just at least know what's going on, or ignore every single thing that comes their way?
No, as a person's concern is subjective. Like, what concerns you doesn't necessarily have to concern me. Like, well, however, whatever you take seriously doesn't mean that I have to take it seriously either. Like, because I have my own concerns, my own life, my own issues
Sure.
that I'd rather
That
take
could be
care
said
of.
for everyone.
Yeah,
What I'm saying
yeah.
is, like, in general, given that
It's not my place to say what people should be concerned about.
okay.
It really isn't. It really, because people can be concerned about the earth,
Which they are.
climate change and
Yeah.
all this shit.
Still
That
going.
they're perfectly fine to be concerned about.
Mhm.
They can be social.
So people who are concerned
Warfare,
about the
like-
coronavirus can be concerned about it.
Sure, they can absolutely be concerned about it, but
Just don't bring it to you like it's
Yeah,
a big deal.
to me, I don't really give a fuck because we've seen this time and
pattern.
time
We've seen a
again.
pattern.
We've seen a pattern of
Mhm.
of crazy viruses or sicknesses
Yeah.
that gain momentum and then dissipate like just as fast as they gain the momentum. Like,
So it's almost like the boy who cried wolf, right? Eventually, one's going to come out where
sure,
it is very serious, and they were like, it's just another one.
but
of
at
those
that by
things.
that point, I'm
You're
not
dead?
even gonna give a fuck.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
it's
Because
like-
if it is that serious, what can be done about it?
Even exactly.
Shit, I
even
wonder
so.
what I would do. I really thought about this at one moment where I was like, well, if something did crazy break out, could I hide in my basement? Could I lock myself in my room and not get, can I disassociate myself from the rest of the world and be able to survive on just like plants and stuff in my backyard or some
It
shit like
depends
that?
on how crazy this gets, because
Or what if it targeted a particular race or gender or something like that? Then it's like, I don't know. I'm curious. It's something to really, obviously not take overly serious, but just something to think about. Because there was that sort of moment, I'm not sure if this is a belief thing or actual serious, where when AIDS were breaking out and it was really just affecting the black and homosexual community or the gay community, it was just like, I don't know. Nobody would really think about that except the ones who were really getting targeted on. And and if you don't even have like a little bit of a thought, then I don't know. I just feel like that's
So
not caring.
it's cool to be informed. Just don't be inundated by it where all of a sudden it rules your fucking life.
Yeah, don't start buying cans from the store,
Although I was thinking about
buy a can, buy 2 cans.
The other day I was driving and I was like, you know what? I often let my gas go down to like a quarter before I go get it. Sometimes I even wait till the light comes on just because I'm lazy. But I said, if something ever fucking happened,
You're fucked.
my habit of not having at least a half tank ready to go is a problem. Because how far could I really get?
How would you drive if everybody like was stopped on the freeway? You wouldn't be able to really get anywhere, right?
Right. All those end of the world movies, they always take place in anywhere, but like was that one Seeking a Friend for the End of the World?
Yeah.
I don't know where that shit took place. It was in New York, actually.
Not in
right?
major cities. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, because I feel like if it happened in LA, yesterday, what? Saturday, right?
Mhm.
Saturday night, it was like 11 and the freeways were
Packed.
fucking busy as
Yeah.
fuck. But as I drove, hoping to see far ahead, like what the problem was, there was no
There's
fucking
nothing,
problem.
right?
It's just people driving slow,
people just-
stupid,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, who? I honestly was slowly trying to figure out exactly how stupid humanity was for a
Yeah.
second. I was like, how can you drive this terribly?
I literally thought, same day yesterday, seeing people drive stupidly, thinking that I was wondering if humans, for some reason, their IQ gets lowered once they're behind
Behind the wheel.
or any moving vehicle. Something happens where it's like they think something else takes care of it, and they just drop a few octaves in their brain.
Is there something happening where maybe there's an influx of like visitors right now currently?
In Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's why we're building all that shit.
Like,
All those high rises in downtown.
That has nothing to do with anything.
For
no, I'm
influent
saying
people.
like, because I know it's not summer, so
What?
people.
There are plenty of buildings that have been built recently that are still vacant.
Yeah.
Buildings that have been up for like a year.
Yeah,
that
those-
have
a year.
zero vacancy.
What?
Like,
That's for real estate. Like,
yeah,
purposes.
we're building buildings for no one to be able to live in them. Like
On
we're
purpose.
literally doing that.
So no, that's not for no.
I
population
guarantee
increase?
that building
It's
will
gonna be
probably be
empty?
at half capacity in the next. By the time it's finished, within its 2 years, it'll be half at capacity.
People with lots of money need to store it somewhere.
Oh,
where-
I was going to ask, what's the purpose of doing that?
yeah. So they invest in real estate so that they don't get taxed on all their extra earnings.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of the way that works. But
Interesting.
And a lot of those buildings are like foreign owned.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Most of those are
Yeah.
actually from
China.
from
Didn't you
yeah.
tell me? And you also told me
Yeah.
that they're buying up land, like
They
actual
bought up.
land.
Yeah, they bought up most of the real estate in downtown LA, which is like crazy,
I love it.
fucking crazy.
We're not doing it.
That's because
Let
that's
somebody
the
else
average
do it.
American doesn't have.
We
savings.
live in a
it's-
capitalistic society.
Is it because we don't care about that stuff?
Everyone.
Oh, speaking
should
of
have an
which,
opportunity.
What?
who was it? I think one of our previous guests.
Kiva.
Yeah, Sheila
She
Starcian, and
did.
she
She
commented,
mentioned.
and she was like, "I hope Joe paid attention when your mom was here." She was talking about like the problem with capitalism per se,
Oh, yeah.
and she was like, "I hope Joe paid attention."
And
And I was like,
replied,
yeah.
and
Oh,
I
you
was
did reply?
like, yeah.
I didn't see your reply.
he did reply. Yeah.
I was like, I love capitalism.
Do you ever think that might bite you in the ass in the future at all? Ever? No.
No.
What do you?
And if it does, I don't think Joe gives a
I
fuck.
play by the I
Yeah.
play by the rules of capitalism. I understand capitalism. Like,
Just here, is that because you live here? Like, what if you lived in a place that wasn't capitalism? Would you follow? Do you think you would follow that more?
Probably, yeah.
So just wherever you've been plopped, you just say, I'm going to follow those rules.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty good at adapting
Yeah.
to whatever the situation is.
Okay.
I follow
Okay.
zero rules. Nobody got rules on me, bro.
Okay. Do you don't follow shit?
I want to follow the rules.
It's hard for a strong
Hold
black man.
on. Did Joe just look at you and ask you, do you you don't.
He answered for me.
He gave up halfway through that sentence thinking it didn't matter.
I didn't even get a chance. I didn't get a chance to formulate or try.
Hey,
or
my
think.
brother, I get it. I'm with you. You're part of the struggle.
I see. I don't know. I see how bad it is, and how I don't know. I do some of the stuff I do agree with, like as far as conservative Republican stuff, and capitalism. I can kind of see where they're coming from, and I think if I was put in the same position, I might have those same views as Joe. But I'm poor as shit right now, so I can't really be like I love capitalism.
Broke, right? Because poor is totally a mentality, dude.
Not poor.
I mean, unless we're talking like third world poor, and that's different.
Well, no, whatever the definition of I have no money.
Broke.
Okay, yeah, that is. I thought
broke at the moment, but you're still living.
Yes. Okay, so yes, broke.
You're still able to feed yourself.
Yes.
And I just keep coming back to the idea that like, it's so funny because look, theoretically, the only reason I don't have more money right now is because my ass isn't out there actually selling.
Or you don't take the opportunities that were given to you. We'll talk about that later.
That's
I'm teasing Philly.
The teapot caught in the kettle.
Yeah.
Wait, I can never get that one.
But yeah, kettle calling.
You're saying that's because of opportunities. Yeah, pot calling the kettle black.
What opportunity did I get?
You've had opportunities.
What?
Hey, don't look at me. He has
SpaceX and all that stuff that you could have done, right?
So
no.
About that,
may I finish? Because you're also saying. Like, I might agree with
him.
No, but I'm saying I might agree with some of the things that, or might not agree with Joe because I'm not in a specific situation. But at the same time, also, there were decisions that you made that probably weren't the most ideal decisions.
What?
Like taking high loans.
Whoa! Hey, don't be coming after my boy's life.
Say the N-word, like
no, but I'm saying, like, people. Sometimes people disagree with capitalism and say, "Oh no, the rich are getting rich and the poor are getting poor."
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
No, I just want to say, if
my brother.
when I was getting a decent amount of income and I was paying off bills and stuff like that, including my loans. We had a discussion on this. I had like a $900 food budget, right?
Like you had no problem.
I spent money, and then I was in a loving capitalist society. But when I couldn't afford that stuff, I'm like, damn, I wish that was cheaper.
Then it was like, fuck capitalism. I hate it. But see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, if
convenience-ism.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. It really is.
Ooh, that's the name of the episode.
That's why that you should mark that convenienceism. No, but really, that's what it is. Like people are only mad at capitalism because it's not convenient for them. Yeah, because it's not benefiting them. But I guarantee
the minute
if were benefiting, they'll be like, oh fuck yeah,
it's the status quo,
higher
right?
tax bracket, bigger tax cuts, like bullshit like that.
And that's what's happening because people who are rich are voting for the things that'll keep them richer.
Yeah, and people who win the lottery do all that crazy spending money.
And so what I was trying to get at, the reason how I started going in this direction was the only reason I don't have more money is because I'm not going out there closing sales. Right. But that's really all it is. I have the skills. I have the know-how where I can develop an offering, which is most people don't even have a fucking offering. You know what their offering is? They go in somewhere and they go, hey, I show up on time and I do my work as I'm told to. That's most people's offerings. And it's like, first of all, showing up on time, like you should just do that as an adult regardless. You know what I mean? Doing as you're told, I guess, that's your choice. But I'm polite. Okay, join the rest of the fucking world. Generally speaking,
it's an implementation of the corporate world where they have an expectation, which I never figured out or had a good discussion on where it came from. Like, who wrote the book on you're not allowed to talk back to your boss, but they can treat you like shit, kind of thing. Like it's okay, yeah, pretty much.
Hey, look, it's not because I'm white, and I know that a lot of shit they've done in the past is bullshit.
Yeah,
right. And just like with all men, right? Can we really say all white people? I'm not saying that,
a good majority of them.
It's like that one thing I read where somebody was like, what did they say? why can't white people understand that it's not that we're asking them to apologize? We're asking them to abolish the things that the system is clearly.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Sent that
benefiting
to
them.
me.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
agreed with that. Yeah. It's mostly it's just the people that are still pushing that.
You know
idea.
what? On this idea, before I finish my thought about work, the nature of work and shit, I have been in rooms where people have mentioned to me that their biggest challenge with like the Lives Matter movements
Black
is
lives?
just in general, any Lives Matter movement is that that the minute it comes down to like, oh, a specific life matters, right? Because then the counter to that was all lives matter, right? Or whatever, right? And it's and people's argument against that is like, well, you seem to fail to understand that it's not about whether all lives matter or not. That's a default. The point is that it currently looks like Black lives don't matter.
Yeah, because if you say
Right?
all lives matter, then why specifically is this one group not getting mattered?
Right.
That's pretty much what it's down to. What it's saying.
Like that.
Yeah.
Why are they not getting mattered?
Yeah. Yeah.
They want to
Matters.
get mattered.
Mattered us.
right. And that tends to be the thing that triggers people who are known as white people, particularly when they're like, oh, okay, but the minute you say Black Lives Matter, it's like, why does it have to be that? Why can't we just focus on the fact that all lives matter? Because it doesn't look like they all do.
Right. It's not said right, and it's not described to those people who would counteract that in a way where they understand. They have, and it'll be my soapbox later, but people will have this one narrow track mind that even Neil deGrasse Tyson said in a great interview, was like, if they already have a mindset, it's going to be very, very hard to change. And if you can't change it, then it led to like just giving up or just leaving them in their own area. But it's very, very difficult to have somebody who thinks the sky is green from the moment they were born to try and tell them, no, it's blue. Look at it. It's hard.
It's like
It's not an
Is
easy
it blue
thing.
though?
Well, okay, that science, we can debate that in science, but
it's like the idea of you don't care about what's happening in your neighborhood and what problems are happening until suddenly it's your car that's robbed or your apartment that's broken into or your family that's shot. Suddenly it becomes important.
My family gets shot. I'm becoming Batman.
you are. Can I be your
Daredevil.
Robin?
No.
Oh, fuck you.
You're just gonna hold me back.
Well, technically,
I said technically. Wow.
I don't have the aerobatic.
I think
skill.
the only lives that don't matter are pedophiles.
pedophiles.
Yeah, fair
Pedos
enough.
that fuck with little kids. Now, because there's that thin line of you're 18 and you have a 16-year-old girlfriend, or you're 18 and you have a 17-year-old girl. I don't consider that pedophilia, even though the government does.
Right.
I mean, because you could be 18 in high school and have like a 16-year-old girlfriend.
Right.
That's
very
perfectly
common,
legal.
you know?
Oh, it's common. Oh, because freshmen,
A senior
and
going out with a senior or
going
sophomore.
out with a
Yeah,
sophomore.
yeah.
That's common.
Okay.
You know, but
Okay.
I'm talking about like grown ass
40-year-old
dudes that fuck with little kids.
Yeah.
Like a 30-year-old who went in to find a 16-year-old. Like, what's up, girl? Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's not.
that's creeper shit.
Are you
Yeah.
okay with the number of it being 18? Like, where's your range of like, this is disgusting kind of stuff? It's like after because you mentioned the government. So if it's not
I think
the
if
government,
if you're able to get a drink, you should not be fucking with like little kids. Even
oh, okay. So no 25-year-old dating a 20-year-old.
no,
Oh.
18. Like by our legal standards.
Oh, okay.
I think if you're 25, you shouldn't be dating anyone who's below 18.
Below 18. Okay,
Or
that's,
even
that's
in
what,
high school.
that's what I'm
like,
asking. Yeah.
Even if they're 18 and in high school, that's still fucking.
That's
like,
still
wait a
weird.
minute,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yo, dog.
If
there's
you're
gotta
not
be
in
a-
high school anymore, like you should probably start expanding your horizons and stuff.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just in general.
Now, does that work for just the United States? Because other countries,
Well,
it's now local.
yeah, I
we
mean,
should
Look
make
at
this
semantics
no,
over
not
here.
semantics. I'm just saying we should make this more global than local.
Well, I think for the most part, legal in most of the world is 18.
It is. I heard 16 in like certain European countries.
Where like Bangkok? Yeah.
Bangkok is in
European?
Europe.
Oh wait,
Billy
no.
Yeah, Joe.
But we were talking about other parts of the world.
I know, but I just want to catch you on your shit because I said European countries.
In
Oh,
general,
European countries, I think they're 18.
I don't
You
know.
can smoke cigarettes
Yeah,
and drink
yeah,
at
yeah.
18.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never been. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
You motherfucker.
I think
You smoke and drink with 18-year-olds in Europe, Joe?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Not me.
I think before we get too carried away on this one topic that we kind of tangent or whatever, like I want to bring it back to the idea of work before we forget.
Okay. Yeah.
So like again, like I was saying, you know, I have these skills or at least this know-how, Like I know how it's supposed to be done. Do I act on it all the time? No. I spend most of my time like doubting or what have you. I've got my own sensitivities, right? But it is true that if you look at the current state of the market and identify where it is, you can offer someone something that would. It's all about finding the problems that people need solved and developing an offering. I can solve this fucking problem for you. Now you can charge at current market rate, or you can kill the market and charge for a lower fee. Either way, though, or if you want, you can price yourself as a premium service. And because you have a lot of the things automated and figured out, and really all someone has to do is give you money and it's taken care of, right? But those are the three things you can do to fight the idea of being broke. So I understand that public education isn't necessarily teaching this shit, right? But it's not like it's not available either.
And it's not like it's not setting a foundation for you either.
Yeah.
What, public school or this?
Wait
a minute, what-
So
Oh.
the idea of being broke is truly a choice in this day and age. I'm
Absolutely.
not like you can learn literally almost any fucking thing on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Almost anything, right? There are very few things that are keeping you from access to money. At this point, I'm not saying you're going to be fucking a millionaire, right? Like everybody else wants to be, right? There's only so much fucking money in the economy unless we're printing more money. And a lot of people are already hoarding a lot of that shit, right? But that doesn't mean you can't pay your fucking bills and live a decent life. It's the only thing keeping you from that is you and your ability to understand how you
Your
fit
own
into the
ambition.
market. Yeah,
It's your own ambition.
yeah,
Really.
that's a fact. Keenan's like, well,
No
he took a sip of his tea and shit.
He's like, well, I'm ambitious as fuck, but for some reason, shit just ain't clicking.
Well, I'm ambitious, but I can be more. I know for sure if I treated my sign company as if I was gonna die if I didn't get another client tomorrow, I probably would get another client tomorrow.
Mm.
And I think even more than ambition, you need the confidence to fail. Because
I've already done that.
Because
So.
but have you done it enough?
hope so.
Failure isn't a thing that only happens once.
I know I failed multiple times.
The point is to keep failing and failing faster so you can iterate. Like I'm not like drilling you as a speech. What I'm saying in general,
Yeah.
the point is to fail. The same thing was with exercise. When you're building muscles, you do it to the point of failure, and then you wait for it to recuperate, and you reiterate, and you grow to the next level ad infinitum.
How many failures does it take until you realize you have to just switch up your methodology?
You don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, if you keep failing at some point, you'd be like, I'm failing too much.
Here's the thing.
I need to change.
There
Of
isn't
course.
anything that becomes failure proof. So most
well,
people,
yeah,
most
but-
people are failure. Most people are failure. Not agnostic. Yeah. Okay. Most people are afraid to fail when they should be afraid of not failing, is what I'm trying to say. Because it's going to happen anyways. People think that failure is the opposite of success, but it's not. It's not. Failure is the prerequisite to success.
There's a book by
Oh, this is a great time to talk about it, huh?
no.
Just being a dick.
No, I'm not. No. I'm just trying to lighten the lighten the
mood.
conversation. No, what you're saying is true. And I say that because I don't know if you guys watch Parks and Rec, right?
Yes.
So there's a character named Tom Haverford.
Yes.
And he fails so much, but
Right.
he also works hard
Right.
to do things.
Not at
And
his
then-
real job though, but his side business.
Yeah.
Oh,
his
the
side business
Aziz
is
Ansari character?
Aziz's
I fucking love that character.
So at the end of the series, like he becomes successful because he writes about all his failures. So, and then he fails again, and then he becomes successful again because he wrote about his failure. Like, I had everything after failing so many times, and then I lost it all, and then I got it back again.
Yeah.
Because I kept going after my failures.
it's so
you know?
fucking true, though, man.
I just
It
don't
is.
think it's 100% concrete for everyone. Like I don't think I think that statement in itself is also a 50-50. Like there are people who failed once and succeeded after that and just kept their status quo. Not a lot, but they're out there. I just don't think there's a definite guarantee when you tell somebody you have to do it that way. It will 100% work for them every single time.
Right. And I'm not saying that when you fail once, you're supposed to fail at that same thing you did again. What I'm saying is
I know you learn from it.
Yeah, you learn, and then you may fail on something new. But the point is you should be failing, because if you're not continually failing, you're not trying enough new shit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You're not growing to new levels. You're not going to new areas. That's what I'm saying. So if you fail enough times, let's say
This is prior to becoming successful at something.
yeah, because even after you become successful, what are you gonna like? You're gonna rest on your laurels?
Well, I'm just saying, a lot of people have that level, that plateau. They've plateaued, and they stay there and retire and all that stuff, and give their stuff to somebody else to go through those steps.
That's what I'm planning to do.
Well,
I mean, I'm moderately successful at what I do. And I'm going to continue that.
Right.
Yes.
Not expecting to fail, and then I'm just going to ride that wave. I'm pretty solid.
I want to make sure we're operating under the same definition of failure. I don't mean that like you lose everything you built either.
I know.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think
talking
we are
about that
operating on the same thing. I'm trying to add more to it so that we don't get this definite. If you follow this, it will always work for you. That's what I'm trying to avoid, because I feel like a lot of people who not just listen to this, but who get that from other places will do that, and it hits them really hard because they were given this. You follow this, and it will automatically work for you.
Well, yeah, systemic advice in general isn't something you should take.
Right. Well,
and there's nothing wrong with self-help either.
Come on.
It's not for everybody, obviously, because some people can just help themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Some people don't want to experience the failures, so they'll go and listen to somebody else so they can get a plan for what failures they might want to go experience in a strategic way. Either way, you're going to fail is what I'm saying. Some people just don't give a fuck, and they're like, if I have failures, I don't even notice them because I'm just doing me.
or they, and then they'll Jesus.
I love you guys. I'm such an asshole.
That's okay.
I think they'll do those, like we said, by failing you, it helps you learn.
Yes, for sure.
I think that's the baseline of what.
Well, yeah, like, okay, you've mentioned this before, the Thomas Edison method, right? The 10,000 ways that didn't work. And then the whatever. And then the one time that it did.
You know what the fuck I'm talking about.
The point is that they do it in sales too. They call it
99 slaps, right?
What?
Oh, not sales. Is that sales? I heard the same thing.
You said 99 slaps?
Yeah.
What kind of sales do you do, Cianan?
It's
Is it BDSM sales?
Gee, maybe. No, it's something.
It's the whole fall 9 times so you get up to 10th, and that's the time you can ride the bike.
Yeah, I think we really are saying all the same things.
Okay,
in agreement. We're just making it more definable,
right?
Like
and so a lot of the times you're going to develop, because a lot of people will start. They're like, all right, I'm gonna go into business for myself, or I'm gonna become my own boss, and they'll create an offering, and then they go and try to offer it to the market, and then they find out the market doesn't want to pay them for that.
Right.
And they're like, oh, fuck it. This doesn't work. I'm just going to go back to like, no, you look at your offering and you go, okay, the market doesn't want that. How can I change it up? Where should I change it up so that I find out what the market actually wants?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you keep failing at selling it until you don't. And then suddenly you start understanding what market you're in, and you start understanding what the market actually wants. And the minute you do that, you can start innovating and start thinking to yourself, what else is in the market that has a gap that isn't being served or fulfilled?
Mm-hmm.
So how can I add value?
What would happen what would you say to the Bill Gates and the Mark Cubans and the billionaires of the world?
What would I say to the billionaires of the world?
Because those are the people that have this, who went through that methodology and then actually found something that was super successful, like Microsoft.
What would I say to them?
Yeah, because you're saying that
anytime somebody has succeeded far more than I have in a certain area, I don't say things to them. I listen.
Yeah, well, I mean, but this sort of ideal that you're flowing out right now,
mm-hmm.
would you say that same thing to these people who are like at their peak? They've reached this success, and are you saying they should just keep going with like? Well, yeah, they need to fill out something else.
Those people in particular, yeah. I mean, okay, those people in particular, let's take one example like that, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
He is continually still failing at the things that he's trying to produce. Does he have successes along the ways? Yeah.
Yeah, and he does multiple things. He has different.
Right. If you're not failing, you probably haven't posed yourself a challenge to pursue yet.
Or maybe you've conquered the challenges that you had.
Which is fine. What's your next challenge? And if you don't want a next challenge,
and that's what my question is.
Just makes life interesting.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, what is... Oh,
well, obviously for me, and for people like Elon Musk and people like whatever. Yeah, look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being like, you know what, I'm good.
You're good. And then that's...
Right?
And then that's...
Because clearly at some point ambition becomes greed.
And I think that's where I was trying to kind of get at. My question
is ambition becomes a way to avoid some other insecurity you have. It doesn't have to be greed. It could be anything, right? Like, for example, Enneagram type 3s, which tend to be the people that have there's two ways that this can go, right? But generally type 3s tend to be the type of people that they place a lot of their self-worth based on what they can deliver to people, whether they're successful or not, right? Like if I'm a singer and I'm a type 3, right? And you can look up the Enneagram test in our link in our bio. What ends up happening is in our link tree, type 3s tend to be like, okay, I'm a singer, so as long as I keep singing, I'm still valuable. Right. Okay. I'm a sales director. So as long as I keep bringing in the sales, I'm still valuable. Okay. I'm a designer, or I'm a builder. As long as I keep bringing this in, I'm still valuable. But the minute that stops happening, you start to question sort of what your self-worth is. Like I'm a type 3 and a lot of it, like, look at how many different types of things I do. Right. Those are all my ways of trying to convince myself that me just being me isn't enough. Like, I personally never put myself in a position where, me just chilling. Like, I don't expect to get credit for showing up to class. Never. That's just not the way I roll. You know what I mean? I don't think it's enough. I need to get involved. I need to do some shit.
Well, I think their idea is that by showing up, you will pick something up eventually. Right? Like, isn't that the thing, like, why they want you to just show up? Like, to encourage you, to give you credit, like, hey, you showed up, and consistently, eventually you will learn something towards the end.
Okay, you know what? That brings up an interesting point. That saying, showing up is half the battle.
Right?
Is it?
I
Depends.
think so, maybe. I mean, because unless you show up and then bounce, showing up and staying. If you
I think showing up is the start.
Yes. It's a start. And then staying maybe might be halfway. And then the finisher is doing whatever you're there for.
Right.
Like the three
I mean, we're just speaking in generalities.
I don't know. Because I was sort of brought up in, because in the science and engineering, it's very strict military type, you show up, listen, pick up this stuff and do your homework and all that stuff. So I don't know. I'm trying to see.
That's why you're a man of science. Hypotheses fail more often than not, right? When you set up a test, it fails usually, and then you go back and you go, okay, well, let's create a different experiment to see if we can get consistent results, right?
The idea is to get consistent results.
Yeah. But business is no different. It's just a scientific method placed inside of a market that's clearly trading money for services or products. But it's essentially the same thing. It's a scientific method. It's the simplest way to look at business.
I feel...
How do you feel, Joe?
I feel some type of way
about what we're saying. Go ahead, Joel. Go ahead. Tell us. How do you see this differently?
Because you're the way you went through your business in life is maybe very different than the way mine and Philip. We might have three different.
I think it's just because I've been successful at everything I do.
Oh my God!
Okay. No, I'm kidding. No.
I wish I had your confidence.
I think. Well, here's the thing, though. I failed. I failed plenty of times, but
you made me as your friend.
That was easy.
That was my biggest failure.
That was my biggest failure as a human. No, but I've failed many times. But also, my strategy regarding that is just shift to something else. Like,
well, yeah,
I'll fail and then I'll okay, music career didn't go like I wanted it to. So
and that's what Philly was
just
talking
shifted
about.
to a different.
Right. And I'm even talking about, well, what if you shift within what you're pursuing to find a different route to that?
Wait a minute.
But what ends up happening is you get stuck and you're like, oh, I gotta make it. I've already invested X amount of time and
Right,
still
the
nothing's
sunken
happened.
cost
Like,
And
theory.
that's
Yeah,
where my
yeah.
question came from.
Okay, so yeah, and I'm not referring to sunken costs. I'm just saying, did you really pursue all possibilities in that endeavor?
And who's to determine that? Is that the person themselves
Exactly,
or
like-
based
Well,
on
yeah,
what?
everybody has their own tolerance for how many times they're going to pursue something before
Right.
they find out that it maybe doesn't mean to them what it meant.
Mhm.
But as long as it's not you
it's
leaving,
subjective. It's
Yeah.
it's like everything else. Like how your pain is going to be different than mine, just because if you break a hand doesn't mean that your pain tolerance is any less than mine. It's just a different experience.
Right.
I
I agree with that.
or with a bad day, like how can you really gauge a bad day? Like if it's a bad day for you, it's a bad day for you. Like no one can tell you, because then the argument is like, oh well, there are children in other parts of the world who are suffering so much more. And like, yeah, but they're not me. Like,
right? Don't invalidate somebody's feelings.
don't make me feel like I'm invalidated because I had a bad day, but there are other kids, like, or there are other people, like that's a common argument with parents to children, like, oh well, you should see how bad other children have it, like,
right.
get
Or
the
how
fuck
you
outta
used
here.
to have it when you were a
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah,
Like-
no.
So then that would equally mean that if a billionaire loses, a couple of bucks, and they're like, "Fuck, that pisses me off," we should also extend a little
It's a
empathy to them because
possibility.
it's a bad day for them.
It's
It
a possibility.
is.
They might be like
Come
really.
on.
They might be really hit. Like they
like
don't
if,
want to
like
lose
if they
any
weren't
money.
able to get that reservation
man.
at that dinner table they wanted at that restaurant,
is-
and they're like,
Billionaires
"Oh,
are human too.
That's that's a strong possibility. If we
Or
want to
are
stick,
they?
if we want to take the statement we have somewhat literal, we have to make it for the masses. It has to cover every spectrum,
that's true."
no matter how crazy.
The-
how
the-
Except
small.
for pedophiles. Fuck pedophiles. Just want to throw that out there.
Now, with
Now that's within what we had just spoken about.
right with the there has
There's a
spectrum.
very small little
Yeah.
margin where it's acceptable
Yeah.
because society's weird.
and they can't redeem.
But-
yeah,
And then for those of you just listening in who didn't hear that part, we're talking about kids who are 18 who are dating like 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
I don't want people to come into the conversation and think like pedophilia is acceptable. It isn't. We're just saying that there's just very
that's right.
Out of context.
That's right. Yeah. Make sure you listen from the beginning of the episode when you get to here. Yeah.
So failing is going to happen. And it's really up to you, and it's subjective how much failure you really want to deal with.
And what
really
it leads
is,
to.
man.
And without
really
forgetting
is.
why I'm even bringing this up again, it's about a lot of people who are experiencing current broke moments.
Yeah.
Now, that terminology
Terminology.
of broke that I said that I think sparked this whole thing. I was
Poor.
just
You said poor.
poor.
You
I said poor. I'm poor. I'm used to those terms because that's what's used in my
Sure,
neighborhood
sure.
and how it's bring up. So I'm just looking for a word that defines, me having minus in the bank on a consistent basis.
Right.
Yeah, whatever
Right.
that term means, that's what I'm talking about.
broke.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. No,
and it's not. I'm not using it as
I'm
a bad
fucking
thing.
poor.
No, and I get it, man. Like
Yeah.
if anybody, I still remember the day. Like, and again, I know I didn't have to be in this position, but I still remember the day I was living in downtown. I was living in a like a dusty, dirty ass jewelry office building that smelled like old ass hookah, that like was dirty as fuck,
Mhm.
right? But it was $400 a month, and I had already uprooted my fucking life and moved to New York and came back to LA, right? And I'm not the kind of person that likes to impose on other people's lives, right? Not that it's an imposition. I know my family was willing to help me, but I just, I got to handle my shit, right? But I remember I was super broke and I didn't know where I was going to get money from. And I was still trying to figure out my offering. I was still trying to figure out how to close a client. I was failing. I was hungry and I didn't know. And honestly, it seemed like it was going to be for fucking forever.
Mhm.
I was like, fuck, man. I was so depressed.
Mhm.
I made a video and I don't know what I did
You
with
post
it.
it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's saved to my cloud, but I made a video and I was like, I fucking swear, like, look at your fucking self, man. Just look at yourself. Remember this moment because this is the lowest of fucking lows that it can get. Literally, you have no idea where you're going to get money from. You can't seem to get hired for even a job, even though you're trying to. So it makes it even worse because now you put yourself in a fucking bad spot. You're trying to build a business. You can't seem to get a fucking job. You can't even eat right now. You don't even know if you're gonna be able to pay rent. Look at your fucking self. What are you gonna do about it? Right? Now that's most people's biggest fear before it even becomes a reality. Right? But I was
Yeah.
there and I was like, fuck, man.
Mhm.
But ever since that fucking day, if there's ever a moment I don't have money, I'm no longer afraid, man. Cause I'm like,
Afraid to accept money from others, or
no, like I'm no longer afraid in general. Like I've finally come to a place in myself where it's kind of like when you've had your heart broken enough times that at some point you start looking at people differently when you're dating them. Like
which was where you're at right now as well.
Well, right. So similar to that idea, right? So you fucking asshole. And you know what? Fuck you. No.
Hashtag fuck Joe.
No. So without losing the steam here.
No.
Slide into Keenan's DMs. Hashtag slide into Keenan's DMs.
I want to make a t-shirt for real.
So that same feeling, same idea. I'm trying to give you guys a point of reference here. That same feeling was what happened that day that only recently finally tapered off. Where like if I'm in a position where I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do? Honestly, I feel empowered. I'm like, you know what? If I just fucking look at the current state of affairs in the business world and look at what needs to be done, see what skill gaps I have. Like, oh, I don't have that skill, but maybe I can hire it. Because the truth is, you don't even have to have the skills. All you have to do is know somebody who has the skills, go out and get the fucking job, and then take a little off the top and give it to whoever the fuck can do the work. It's that simple. Most people overthink that shit.
Yeah.
I know it's that simple, and I still don't have the courage because sometimes the fear of fucking it up is worse than actually doing it. Like your imagination will fuck you all kinds of ways, man.
Which is why I don't watch scary movies.
Why did your voice shake when you said that?
In case something.
Keenan is truly afraid of scary movies.
I don't watch that.
He
shit,
said,
man.
"That's why I don't watch scary movies." Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a true fact.
Thank you for sharing that, Filthy. Like, because I'm sure there are people who are like, who are placed in situations that are pretty fucking depressing. Like, so.
And to Joe's credit, here I go at the same moment in time with like living in a house and all this stuff, still feeling that I was broke.
And again, there's nothing wrong with that either because it's subjective. Like,
I mean, your situation,
your feelings.
Yeah, your current situation to the listener out there, whatever your current situation is, and no matter how bad it looks, that's a good thing happening for you. It really is building your character. I feel like a complete fucking failure, but one thing I'm certain of is, man, do I have character. Like, if there's any one thing I feel like I've achieved, it's character.
Nothing regarding this pod at all. You know, like, it's not like we've been doing it.
This podcast doesn't mean shit. Me being on Telemundo, me releasing a couple of tracks. You know,
you've done a lot, Philly. You've been on TV. You have albums. You have commercials.
And you know what's funny? The only thing, so you got to know what's it gonna take for you, right? For me, the only way I will for sure feel like I finally did something, like legit. If I'm being honest, is if I can get a fucking house. I know it sounds ridiculous.
No, that's not ridiculous.
But the minute I can do that, I'll be like, okay, I must have done something right. Until then, everything is still like on the way.
Now, you mean like a house? You have a mortgage, or you bought it off fully?
Either way, man.
Oh, okay.
One way or another.
The house.
Yeah. Just something about that material. It's because I'm not interested in material things, but there's something about that tangibility of that house that says something to me personally that I must have done something, because that in itself, until then, I'm still in the process of watering the seeds to bear fruit.
And you have to get it yourself, right? Like if it was a hand-me-down house, that doesn't count.
No, if I fucking inherit it, I put myself in a position to inherit it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
Because I can give you a couple houses.
At least for me. But what's it going to take for, like, for you as a listener, right? What does it take for you to feel like you've reached a level, right? Like for me, if this was a video game, and for you video game players out there, I'm not worried about level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For me, there's level 0, level 50, and level 100.
Yeah.
That's all it is for me.
Do you ever see those people, maybe even in real life too, but in those games, you're like, oh, we don't play MMOs. I'm going to say where you see them and they're just like kicking ass. You're just at level 1 doing the level 1 shit, and then some level 50 or 100 comes through, does one spell and knocks everybody out, and then just runs away. It's like, I want to be
You're
that.
like, thank you, good sir.
I know. They don't say anything. You try to talk to them.
Thank you, fair knight. You have helped me exponentially.
They only communicate with people on the same level as them. Fuck, sounds a lot like life.
What games mimic life or the other way
What?
around?
I talk to you guys.
Look at Joe. What Joe
I was like, no.
hold on. Let me turn on my power scanner and see what Joe's level is at. Ding, 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 ding. It's over 9,000.
It's 116,000.
Some people do that I like on the games where they implement real world heroism in the game. So I was told this one story where this guy in World of Warcraft and a group of his buddies in his clan started a group where they would go around in the game and anybody who requested help, of course they charge like some gold coins, whatever in the game, but they would go and help them fight. So somebody's being harassed. So a lot of times there's a lot
We're
of
mercenaries.
there's a lot, there are a lot
pretty
of
much.
jerks who like mess with people and don't let them have a fair share in the game. But that's what life is too. And these group of guys would come over if somebody says, "Please, I need help." Some other gamer is messing with my area, and I'm trying to have fun, and I'm trying to like. And
They
it's
have like
usually
a guild and they're like,
Yeah.
they're sitting at tables
Yeah.
and you're
And
like
they would-
typing.
And they
I
would
think
come-
I could help you.
and they would come and they would go as a group and go protect this one character who's trying to just do their own thing,
Right.
and someone was messing with it, and then they would help them succeed and then go off and do something else.
That's
It's
so
crazy
funny.
how that
That's
developed
so funny.
in a video game
Yeah.
for people in the real world to play that heroic part.
Now, would you guys in real life, if and when you reach a certain level, would you start to? Because I think it's a real thing. I've had too many mentors in my own life to say that, to not say that this is real. In fact, okay, I found a better way to say it. Every single one of my mentors throughout my whole life has been a person who had achieved so much success already in their own lives personally that the only way to get more satisfaction out of life, the next challenge, was to make someone else successful.
That's I would like to meet this person.
Yes, me too. I have a business that I just started, so
Like that's what drives them. They've gotten to the point where like those challenges have already been solved. So the only way they can feel a challenge is to help someone else get there.
And the true
Isn't that
to,
crazy?
True to Philly and both our statements was that if we really put some effort into it, I bet you we don't even have to ask Philly. You and I could find them if we were really serious about it.
Yeah.
Whatever you're
Yeah.
trying to achieve,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Like, in music, and Joe and I in particular can attest to this, I don't think I've ever asked for a music mentor. I've never had someone music related that was a mentor.
What about your producers and stuff? Nobody?
Like I have homies and shit, but like I never sought out a music mentor. And yet, more often than not, the people who succeeded in music have a music mentor. You can almost trace back. See, success almost becomes lineage
Yeah.
across the board.
Yeah.
Across the board.
I
There's
mean-
the occasional like fucking one who breaks all the rules.
Lucky one. I
I don't know if it's luck. It could be.
Yeah.
But more often than not, it turns out to be some sheer heroic Herculean fucking effort of will, and somehow they accomplish something. Eventually they meet somebody who just opens that one thing they fucking needed. Sure. But for the most part, success tends to be a lineage based thing. Doesn't have to be family, but what I mean is like you come across someone who fucking, it's like the hero's tale. That's why we respond to it in movies, man. Because we all know it deep down inside biologically to be true. Who the fuck is the wise old wizard for me?
I thought you said you had a whole bunch of them.
Well, no, I'm
He's
posing a
speaking
hypothetical
spe-
question.
Okay.
But he's
okay.
also
Okay.
speaking specifically like in music.
Okay.
Music and in anything you want to pursue.
Oh, okay. Well, take that back.
No.
He's talking
No,
to
you
him.
don't have to
in
take it
general.
back. It's equally true. Right? Who are
I
the
thought so.
wise
I thought that's
old
what
wizards?
you meant. Yeah.
And by wizards, I mean both men and women. Because one of my first mentors ever was a successful businesswoman.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, success has no gender,
Look at Cianan.
right? Question
Why
mark.
does he get so quiet when he says that?
Let me tell you something.
Oh man, be careful.
It's okay. We already agreed that humans are trash.
No, you're
Oh, yeah.
exactly. That's what I was about to call back. I was like, of course, it has no gender because we're all trash too. So
Yeah.
trash doesn't have a gender either.
When was the last time you guys sought out a wise old wizard?
I've been asking for that for the whole. Once I knew about mentors, I was like, "Where do I find a mentor?" But I was told where to find one.
Okay,
Andrew on the podcast.
Not Andrew. It was Jeremy.
Jeremy, my bad, Jeremy. Sorry, I don't hang out with you often. We need to hang out.
I mean, I have a couple of mentors.
A couple of wise old wizards.
Yeah. Well, no, they're not wise old wizards, but they're.
I mean, I'm saying hypothetically. They don't have to literally be old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then yes.
Because like for my own mentor, I'm his rap coach, but he sees me as like you know what I mean, like because of my development in that skill. Even though he's a business fucking genius, and anytime I have these problems, and the minute I bring it to him, he breaks it down like, what was I even worried about? Literally on some level 50 shit versus a level 1 shit, right? And the same thing is done with. Something I've been okay. What do you think you in your life take for granted that you can actually do?
That I can actually do?
Yeah, because one thing I'm learning about myself is a lot of the things that I do, I take it for granted that it's that easy for everyone else.
Wait a minute, what?
Like information, things like that.
Well, I have
do you feel like you take anything in yourself for granted?
Joe's a goat, so
I don't know that I'm a goat, but that I take for granted?
Yeah, and you don't have to answer this now, obviously. I'm just trying to pose the question because I'm almost convinced at this point in time now that a lot of people take at least one part of their life for granted. One part of who they are.
If you're thinking, I'll answer mine. And it goes back to my company again. I'm taking that hugely for granted. I really could be putting a lot more effort instead of just slacking around the house. It was very strong and hard to stop playing games on systems. That's one good step. The next step needs to stop looking
So you
at.
haven't played at all?
Not at all.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
No, he's not even joking.
I know he's serious.
Wait, but were you about to say? What were you about to say?
I was not going to say porn. I was going to say Netflix and Hulu
and porn.
Well, that comes last. that's going to be a hard.
He's like, that's going to be the last one I let go. Like,
it's going to be a hard.
Very
well,
last.
The easiest way to break that is just get a woman, and I won't have to watch it at all. But it's
Hey man, women are not replacements for porn.
What are you talking
They're
about?
not. You can't replace porn.
When I had a girl, come on, Joe, we can support the porn community.
Of course, I have to.
I thought you were going the opposite. So okay, I'll
dude. Like any. I mean,
wait. Let me answer it this way. When I had my girlfriend, I did not watch any porn.
What?
No. Now because we're having sex quite frequently, that's the real reason. When sex was not as frequent and it was like long, week span or whatever or more, that's when porn came in.
Yeah, but then you can't say you never watched porn when you were in a relationship.
Okay, not never isn't literally, but like I took it seriously. Like if I'm having
did you feel like you were cheating if you were watching porn?
No, but my girl did say it was cheating if I did watch porn.
Some people's self-worth can feel challenged if you're going to seek your happiness elsewhere. And but those are challenges that they themselves have to overcome too, because they clearly, it's like someone who we were talking about this earlier when what makes someone's self-worth challenged or whatever, right? Anyways,
I had no real problem with it. I was fine. I show respect as much as I can. So, but what I'm trying to say is that there was no real need to have that urge to have sex with myself if I was already having sex with somebody else. Like if I'm having sex on a frequent basis, I'm not going to jerk off because I know I can have sex with a real person. That's what I meant to say. So hopefully ladies who are listening, just come to this point in the podcast and don't take context.
For me, sex and masturbation are two different things. And like quite literally, like they don't serve the same purpose for me.
No? Oh, for me, it's the same.
For me, sex is like a whole fucking like experience, dude.
Well, I want that more. I like that. I would rather do that.
I want that. Somebody, I want that more. Please.
Hold on, let's run that back. We're gonna have to make that a snippet.
Please. What's the timestamp on this?
1 minute. 1 minute.
1 minute?
No, sorry.
What the fuck?
At 1 hour almost exactly.
Okay. Damn.
1 minute. Can't even focus.
Baby, it felt like 1 minute.
Yeah, no, I think
because like some people it's really the same thing, right?
Yeah, I don't put masturbation and sex in the same.
I just,
category.
if I had the option, obviously I would do the sex. That's what I meant to say.
I would do the sex more than the masturbation.
I was trying to put them on an equal playing field and then making a choice, kind of like that, where I
Is it just about the release?
I think the masturbation's for the release, but the sex is like you get, like you said, you get more out of it.
It's a whole fucking experience.
Yeah,
man.
but you also get the release too, which is kind of what you're going for. In the end, you kind of want
depending
the
on who you are.
'Cause-
Tantra people, they don't want to release.
but they do,
Honestly,
don't they?
But
Joe's like, God damn it!
Oh, because he knows how to have. He has dick control.
no. But
Yeah, Joe wants the release.
I want the release.
Well, isn't
In
the-
fact,
the release-
he wants the finger added to it for
Oh,
an extra
sometimes- no,
intense
no.
release.
With the
Listen, though,
tennis ball from
sometimes-
Fernando.
Sometimes you don't even
Like
want
Joe's
the
putting his
sex,
feet up.
or you don't have time for the sex. You know.
Oh, see, yeah, right.
Sometimes the quick masturbation is the way to go. Like, oh man, all right, I'm gonna knock this one out real quick, and then I'll be good.
And I've
that's
done
perfect,
that.
you know?
But the release isn't it? I'm putting this out as a question. Isn't it and like some sort of endorphin thing? Kind of like it's like what it does to your brain the same way like sugar and crack does. Like humans.
I don't know.
need-
I've never had crack, so I wouldn't be able to tell you what the if sugar and crack, you know.
I've read. There's
What
studies.
I will say is, I think another role that sex does play is it's definitely a glue for a relationship too, for a lot of reasons. You know, it
like without it.
well, yeah,
or with
it shows it. I at least as far as I can see it, it shows like it's different if like somebody's really tired. It's like one thing, right? But like generally speaking, all things being equal, you've slept well, you feel healthy, you feel strong, you don't feel like emotionally drained because everybody's fucking asking of you all the fucking time or whatever. Like if all things being equal, if you're in a good state mentally and physically, sex is a great way just to celebrate that you're in a relationship and that you can do that. And it sort of encourages and it helps the bond stay strong.
I like that.
You know,
Not everybody might feel that way, but
sure.
I
No,
like
well,
that
yeah,
idea.
no.
yeah.
And I just think that as of lately, I think there's been a growing trend where there's so much sheer anxiety and like stress of different kinds. I mean, our entire environment has changed dramatically over such a short period of time that we're subconsciously dealing with so much shit, and we forget that, you know, we deal with stress differently. And there are some people who don't know how to voice like I've learned recently that people just don't even know how to tell you what's wrong with them. Don't even know how to tell you what they're experiencing, and they don't know which way to get out of it. And it can create problems in the department of sex within a relationship because they just can't put their words on it. And it's not that they don't want to have sex with you. The problem is they just don't have the fucking head place or the heart place or they're not in the position to have it right now. And it fucking sucks because if you can't voice what's wrong, generally speaking, how can you make the relationship better, or what can you do, right?
We can talk it out, right?
Talking is one way, but what if they don't have the words for it? Right?
Right.
It creates so many problems.
So what do you do in that situation? Because you're a man, so if your girl couldn't say the words
Like if we couldn't figure out why she's just not feeling it
or
as
something,
of
something
lately.
like that. Yeah, I'm just because you're a man, so I can't do that. I have
Right.
to ask you as a dude.
Well, one of the things I've recently personally myself failed in was trying to solve someone's problems for them.
that affected it sexually, or
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Well, because especially because I was older.
And I'm
Right.
just sticking to the topic.
So the way
part.
I interpreted what happened was, you know, there's a time and place to help someone, and there's a time and place to let people help themselves. Even when they can't help themselves, you have to be patient enough
and just wait
to allow them to work through their shit,
Okay.
right? And yeah, during that time, what are you supposed to do? Whatever, right? Well, it all depends on what's important to you, right? It comes down to values and principles at that time, you know. And the reason I want to raise awareness to this is because I'm beginning to see that it's a thing that's happening across the board for a lot of people. A lot of people just don't even know why they're always fucking tired. And there's all the changes that are happening, all the shit. And like you said, some people take world news and blow it way out of fucking proportion. There are people who are still afraid of going to hell. And that's a real fucking fear to them. You know, whether it's not real to you or not, for them, it really is. And like, it'll be a secret too. Like they could sit there and listen to you say you don't believe in in God and the devil and this and that. And they're like, yeah, me neither. And then deep down inside, they really still have that fucking fear.
Because we don't know.
And we don't know. And more often than not, those are all little things that can affect the way someone interacts with you. Sometimes maybe people really just need a day by themselves.
A day alone.
Mm-hmm.
Not a call.
Nothing.
Not an email.
Nothing.
Not a text message.
Don't people think that there might be an issue if somebody doesn't do anything?
Joe's like,
Oh, like you wish you had a day.
no, but do you see that? That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
So you just masturbate.
But can't you take a personal day of some sort? Like, what would happen?
Never a personal day.
Well, what would
Well,
happen?
not for me. Like,
I'm just saying, if you did, do you think things would come to an end or something like that? Like, if you tomorrow said, "I'm not going to do anything for 24 hours straight," and you threw your phone off,
no,
the fucking
I
bridge,
can absolutely do
Oh,
that,
okay.
but it's not my call because somebody's still gonna text me. Somebody's still gonna email me.
That's what I meant. Like, if you cut yourself off completely, you went rogue. You went to the woods, butt ass naked, and that was it.
Why would I do that?
I don't know, because I want that scenario to be. But seriously, you're going.
There is something to be said about, like, I have the same bad habit. I'll finally have a day off, but on my day off, I'm preparing for the days that I'm not going to be off, and it's like,
yeah, because yeah.
but it creates a problem because if you can't make a whole fucking day, at least make 2 to 3 hours specifically.
Yeah, I can do that. Like, and even I'll get an email and won't respond to it, you know, for a day.
Is that why you
But-
don't call back?
No, I
Bastard.
see yours and I'm like, fuck that.
Bastard.
No, but what I'm saying is that even if I decide, you know what, I'm gonna take a day off, I'm not gonna really fuck with anyone. I'm still gonna receive calls
Because the world doesn't end if you take a day off. Yeah.
It's not gonna end, but I'm still gonna receive calls. I can tell the office, yo guys, I'm not gonna be in today,
They'll
but
still
my
tell you,
clients
don't know. They
don't know.
Yep.
You know, and I'm about to tell my client, yo, don't hit me up today. I'm taking a day off.
What happens if you did?
They're not gonna do that.
I'm just saying. I'm just curious.
I would never do that.
No?
No, absolutely not. I'm not going to tell my client who needs something from me, hey, chill. Like, I'm taking a day off.
I know you're not. But hypothetical, if you did, do you think they would like say, I'm not fucking with Joe anymore? Ladies and gentlemen, Joe is messaging his client as we talking.
No. Yeah, I know exactly. See, like,
no, but I'm just saying, like, if you did do that, do you think your clients would be like, fuck Joe?
no,
Maybe?
no.
Okay.
But it's just etiquette, you know.
Have you ever seen the movie Click, Joe?
I have.
With Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
I
Oh, the
didn't.
fucking
I
movie.
wasn't.
You weren't moved by
I
it?
wasn't.
Really?
Whatever.
I find this message in that to be so strong. You know what I mean?
Well, they put
Find time for your family.
Well, yeah, in particular, but also just like the lack of boundaries between work and his life, his personal life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I can relate to it to a certain extent. Again, it's all.
No, I'm not. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not saying that it's easy to fucking accomplish. You know what I mean? Because my fucking lesson for this year is going to be boundaries, like in every place that I can, because I'm the worst at it. I didn't realize that was such a fatal mistake for me.
You mean like for boundaries for yourself and people penetrating the or
Yeah,
boundaries
personal
for,
and professional
Okay,
boundaries.
okay.
I that's one thing I never created.
Mhm.
And whenever I did, it was always done in a poor taste because I would allow things to get to the point where it was so bad that my only reaction was to make a scene, you know? But I'm learning, especially in today's day and age where we're constantly fucking connected, the most important thing you can do is create boundaries. Because then it makes you twice as effective when you can come back to something. The fact that you always have some kind of information, some kind of visual, some kind of anything, when you're all input, right? Shit is just constantly inputting and you're trying to output at the same time. Can you talk and listen at the same time successfully, really?
I have 2 kids, so I can absolutely do that.
Right.
this motherfucker full of success. Damn it, Joe. No failures.
I know. I'm
I hate
an
it.
asshole.
But
Is it your most optimum performance?
No, absolutely not. But I
But you
can
can
do
do
it.
it.
Like
Yeah,
your
yeah.
question was, can you do that?
Right.
Yeah.
And my objective is to encourage establishing at least once a month some degree of boundary that allows you at least a degree of optimum performance.
What does that
Because
look like?
because where most despair is coming from in this day and age is that we're not creating the environment to have even a moment of optimum performance anymore. It's okay that we're not always going to be optimum, sure. But when was the last time you felt optimum?
Ooh.
It's been a minute. I'm gonna be honest there.
Hell of a fucking question, right?
It's probably when I made that show, when I got cut off from that bar, and then I had to scramble to get another show. I was
during the collabo shit?
During the collabo, and I was on full on trying to get things.
You were feeling great. You were like moving, shaking.
Yeah. Because that's probably why I got that other facility so quickly.
Since that happened, you haven't been feeling your best.
It comes and goes. It's on and off. Some days,
Damn.
yes, some days not. When I'm like,
I didn't even know, man. I'm sorry.
I'm not.
That's a bad thing?
No. Just like, I had no idea that had affected you so much.
Heavily, because the fucking bar canceled a show that was
It made you look bad. Is
ordered.
How you feel?
Yeah,
Right?
a week before we were going, and we already had people. And it had too much of an ideal spot to have something to be good, because nothing good happens at that place. Location,
right?
Facility,
they were full of shit, and
everything was
shouldn't
great,
have been canceled.
But the people who owned it, and we would have. I think collabo would have been very different today if we got that bar. I think you might still be in it if we got that bar. That's how much of a belief I had in what we were doing, of what I got accomplished, that I think it would have led to a good success. But it failed. But then I found another success by optioning out to Emmanuel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I definitely felt like I was on one, because I got all that stuff done, which is why I like doing that whole booking thing. But then as more and more failures happened for booking,
you became discouraged.
I said, fuck it, and I'm going to find something else. And I did this sign company.
Okay. Joe, you were saying it's been a while since you felt
Am I optimum?
optimums? Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm at like
I mean, yeah,
I'm
you're
at a
still,
cool
you're still
80%,
kicking
you know?
ass,
I'm
right?
still
But when
fucking
was
dope.
the last time you felt optimum? Can you think back to it?
I can't.
You're like,
think
bro,
the last
I've
time
done
was-
so much shit.
I think it's when you
I do super large scale shit now, and it's like, yeah, it's cool. I did it.
So maybe the first couple of months or weeks when you started working there, you were at your optimum, because you started with zero, but then
It was okay. January of 2015.
Ooh, he remembers the date.
When
My birthday?
The first time. No, it wasn't your birthday. What the
January
fuck?
15.
No, I said January of 2015.
Oh, my bad.
God.
Hey, let's leave the mothers out of this.
2015 January. Keep going.
By the way, January 15th is my birthday.
It was
Keenan
Super Bowl.
Duncan.
It was Super Bowl. That's
The
probably
first
the
time you
last
did the
time.
Super Bowl.
The first time I did the Super Bowl.
When it was
You were
in,
like, I'm fucking
Arizona,
killing it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We
That
both
was-
worked on
that
that
was the
show.
one when I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
And since then, everything hasn't had a sparkle in it anymore, huh?
I mean, so that's what happens when you peak young, you know? You peak young, and it's like, what else is there?
'Cause that
I've
was
plateaued.
That scale was a huge set that you did outside
yeah.
the stadium.
Yeah.
Big truss structure and stuff.
It was huge. It
Once
was like
you-
the size of this building.
I think I agree with Joe, because once you do those huge when I worked at the company, did like these huge sets out, and I did other ones after that. I was like, whatever. It's doing Obama shit, or doing it's just the Grammys, whatever. Because it's
yeah, exactly. we did like a Bernie Sanders rally
Yeah.
like a couple months ago, and it was like cool. Like
like
I do the Oscars and the Grammys and the Emmys and all this shit, and I'm like, cool.
and what
Like,
would top that is like if Joe did a stage out in space. Like that's how you have to go
No,
is
I
out
think
there.
if I did something overseas,
overseas. I
that'd
thought you
probably be
did.
like, oh shit, that's dope.
Have
No?
you?
No,
Do you?
I haven't-
Do you
no,
know
I mean,
if
like,
you
as far
can make that a
in
thing?
this industry,
Yeah.
like landing a job that puts me overseas.
Is that
No, I thought you
feasible?
did. It is.
Yeah,
Like, yeah?
absolutely, it is. It is,
company
but it
does-
hasn't happened yet. But
Oh,
and it's not up to me to decide when that's
Right,
going
right,
to happen.
right, right.
It's
or could it? A
it's-
client that you picked up? Yeah.
no. I'm sure it'll happen someday. It'll happen where a client's like, "Yo, I need this thing in England," and I'll be like, "Yeah, all right, let's figure this shit out."
Right.
Like,
I
I'm
meant
sure
like
it'll
you
happen.
call up industries in like London or something like that, and you purposefully go. What's the word I'm looking for?
Would you cold sales that?
kind of like that, and then you picked up fucking.
No, I don't cold call anyone.
You don't cold call
do that.
anyone?
No,
Are you not allowed to do that?
No, it's not that I'm not allowed to do it.
Oh.
I just don't do it.
That ain't me.
It's beneath me.
Oh shit!
It's for the new hires.
What
It's
have
for
I
the
created?
interns.
Oh,
Would
for the interns?
would you do warm sales?
What's that?
Like based on clients that you already have, or no?
Yeah, like if you started asking clients around that you've worked with in the past, who they know internationally.
always
and
do
things.
that.
Right.
That's
I
a
always
warm
do
sell. Oh, okay.
Well, because then it's a warm intro. They're like, hey,
Yeah.
you know what? I know you haven't worked with him, but my buddy here is looking to. One of his goals is to do things internationally. And I think you have also been thinking about, because that's all it is just finding someone who also wants to do something internationally,
and then just
and then you guys solve for each other.
I mean, I've sent stuff overseas.
Yeah,
nice.
I've done that stuff, but not me actually taking over a project and saying, all
That's
right,
right.
we're gonna go, we'll travel, we're gonna install this, we're gonna do this.
Like you're going to
ourselves.
travel
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Japan and
Yeah.
put together.
dude,
yeah.
Joe could like create accurate international. That'd be awesome.
No, it's gonna be something else.
I'm
not gonna say
never
the
mind.
name,
All right,
but-
all right. Well, moving on.
if it were to come to that.
So Keenan,
That's pretty cool.
So and piggybacking off of that, Keenan, with your booking and stuff, do you feel like there's a specific booking, if you could accomplish it, would kind of bring back that luster that you had that time?
Well, it's a high thought, but yeah, like Staples Center or something like that.
Like being able
That'd
to
be
book one of
awesome.
those, that'd be like, fuck, man,
Yes.
I can't believe I.
That was the goal. That was the dream, that I connect with all these artists, because a lot of the times I watch those documentaries and true Hollywood stories and interviews and stuff, and talk about who and what was around them when they first started and then that got discovered. I was like, if I was around those kind of people and then was able, as you grew, like Minority Report came ridiculously huge, and I call up and organize or help organize the Staples Center or the Forum show,
Mhm.
I would have felt that I would have be like Joe. I just peaked, and then that's it. You know, everything else is just that.
Okay.
But that was the dream, quote unquote.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm dead inside.
Oh shit.
You know what's crazy is I know somebody
did do
who
a
I know
big-ass
somebody who
tour.
does big or like huge hip hop events in like China, let's say. I mean, given the current things, we might have to wait a while, but you know what I mean? No. I'm saying only because travel is currently banned. to
And it
China.
was just an example.
For like a week, and then it's
Yeah, hopefully,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
but like what I'm saying is that's a proposition that at the very least I could present that might actually bring you closer to that kind of objective, that goal, right? Because it's someone that we know here who constantly is doing shit over there, and so there might be a thing there. You know what I mean? And then for Keenan, I know our friend.
I linked up with him and we tried to work something out, but it was around the time where I was trying to
Sure,
leave the booking
right,
thing.
right,
I was
right.
like,
Sure.
it's not working out for me.
And honestly, you know, I don't know what they've accomplished, but any information you get, like, I mean, I know you just haven't been pursuing it again.
Well, I even attempted one branch of pathway after a failure to success, trying to help institute an example where a person I like, as you both know, the comedian Gottfried, who I follow and I'm watch his show. I remember sending him a message on his live Instagram saying, the next time you come to LA, I mean, you're so good, let's try and book you at the Staples. And he responded to that. And I felt, oh shit, you know, I'm taking.
You're like,
real
I don't know how we're gonna do it, Sir Gottfried, but let's figure it out.
But I think doing that,
And he was like, motherfucker.
I think by doing that will put me in a position where now I have to follow through.
Oh man.
Okay, so what happened? What happened when he
Exactly,
responded? And you were
exactly like that. I was too nervous,
and he
I
didn't even respond. He was like,
No,
"You
he responded,
fucking
and then I
little
just
shit."
exit out the live chat, and I just went and did something else.
You got nervous. You're like, he's gonna remember you forever. Like one day.
I literally just read something that talks about this.
And I ran into him after I did that chat, but obviously he didn't know who I was. But
If you would have,
if I brought it up, that would have been the thing. I would have, when I ran into him and took that picture I showed you, I could have said, "Hey, I'm not sure if you remember me, but I was the one that said I would like to set you up at the Staples or something like that."
I mean, you know, come across a lot of people in the entertainment business.
I
did
do.
you tell him?
Huh?
What did you tell him after when he responded to it?
Oh, I told him that.
It's 6:00. You told them what time it was.
No, I said you're, because I saw him at the Laugh Factory, and I said your stuff was so really funny. It was ridiculous how, you know, you're not doing shows at something like Staples. And his response was like, "Oh, damn, really? Are you some kind of booker in Los Angeles?" And then I did not respond after that because I wasn't expecting him to see it. Most of these live Instagram stuff, they don't really respond if they're like have 1 million followers and shit.
It was like,
So, I got kind of nervous.
It was like if a pretty girl actually acknowledged you, huh?
Exit.
You were like, oh shit.
Yeah.
She actually is giving me her number right now. I'm not going to call her.
And sadly, very, very super, super sadly, that actually has happened where I did get a couple girls' numbers where
You were really into it?
I was really, and I
You
think
didn't
they
it was
were, and I didn't call. I feel real bad.
So, okay. So I want to speak to that because I just read something today. One of the books I'm reading right now, currently studying. It talked about this very thing because it's something that I suffer from, right? So in this room right now, between the three of us, and I'm sure a lot of people who
listening.
Yeah. And whoever listens also, in particular, I'm pretty, because it's most people who listen to us are people that know us personally. Right. There's a few people who
there's
don't,
a few.
but,
We just got one message of someone.
No, I mean, I saw our statistics. People like in Brazil are listening to us and shit like that. Right. But, shout out by the way to Brazil. And actually we should open up the Anchor app and see what other cities and places and give them a shout out.
It tells us what other countries?
Joe, while you're looking at that.
Oh, you saw that? It
Yeah,
says
yeah,
that? Oh,
yeah.
cool.
So continue.
In the meantime, the thing that I read that really hit home because it's a problem I have, or it's a challenge I should overcome, is the three of us here and most people who are listening, it's not a matter of ability. It's not a matter of if you're capable or not. Generally speaking, ability will come when the time is right, right? So it's more about the fact that you have to admit to yourself that you know what you're doing. The problem with knowing what you're doing is that now you have to show up every other fucking day and say that you're the guy or you're the girl that knows what the fuck they're doing.
Hey, I've been doing that for 10 years for that person that I've been interested in.
So shout out to
Still nothing.
the US.
Oh, the US, that's what it says.
Shout out to Canada.
Hey,
Yo,
Canada.
Shout out to the UK.
Hey.
UK.
To India.
Yeah.
To
Indeed.
Dominican Republic. To Belgium. Hey.
Belgium. Nice.
Australia.
Nice.
Ireland.
Ireland.
South Africa.
Hey, Africa.
And Mexico.
Hey.
Mexico lindo y querido.
Oh my God.
Not for me, but you know,
Hey.
for some, you know.
Wow.
Wow.
Joe's fucking
Hey, the
savage.
motherland, you know, Ireland.
Oh, hey.
That's up, right?
Oh, that's funny.
That's right. That's what my 23andMe says.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm mostly Finnish. but,
Oh, there you go.
And a pre.
Fuck Finland. No.
Bro,
Whoa,
Jesus.
hey,
Finland. I'm
hey.
kidding. They're not gonna attack me or anything.
Pre happy birthday to our boy Philly.
Oh,
I just found out that is his birthday on the 6th. I don't know why I just found out, but I feel really bad. But I put it in my
Why?
calendar and everything.
Look, honestly, man, things are going great. Before I finish my point, me getting this book published all the way out and all the incredible feedback that everybody's been giving me, like
Yeah.
I didn't realize how many people were even interested in this.
We actually haven't talked about that.
It's crazy because I've done a million other things, but I've never had a response from me pursuing a project that I've had making this book.
Is this your
Like I've made music, I've tried doing like, movie shit, but me doing this book, like everybody came behind it and they were like, yo, here's your feedback and shit. And I was shocked.
Can we say what the book is?
Yeah.
The name of the book is called Pushing Past the Norm, Sidestepping the Mind Game of Life by Philip Lanos.
It'll be available in digital starting.
Well, I'm hoping to get it published by my birthday. That's why I'm
by
bringing
the
this out.
birthday. Yes, there we go.
Okay.
Because it's been my goal since last fucking 2 years, actually.
So we're talking February 6th,
Yeah.
Thursday, February 6th. You should be able to get it on.
Yeah.
Amazon.
If everything goes as planned,
Everything
yeah.
goes-
I'll be at
well.
your house on the 6th, so I'll be picking one up
Is that
personally.
so? I don't remember inviting you, but all right.
That's weird.
I'm going to a show next to your house, so you didn't need to invite me, all right? Somebody else did.
No, but okay, so that's what I'm saying though. But like, see things like that, like make my fucking day.
This is when you were on one, like you said.
Because part of the reason, coming back to this whole thing, part of the reason I never fucking actually put the book out was because I was afraid that I would then have to be like a person who says that they know what they're doing. Because I'm so constantly full of doubt all the time that I was like, well, it's like people tell me all the time I should be a fucking coach, like a life coach per se, right? But I don't want to be that fucking guy because what have I fucking accomplished?
But isn't this book kind of you saying I know this information?
Well, it's my way of taking a stab at it.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like the other day, someone hit me up on IG and asked if I was a counselor. And I was like, whoa. And I said, no, but why do you ask? They were like, oh, well, I was out hoping to get some advice on something. And I was like, well, let's set up some time. Like I had no intention of like setting up a price and charging whatever, but I said, I'll give you half an hour of my time. Right. And I listened to them and I gave them stuff. And sure enough, they responded. And when I hung up the call, I was like, fuck, what does it take to be a counselor? Looked it up. You gotta have like a PhD and all this other shit.
Or something like that.
But you know what's funny is like, I looked at it, I was like, I could probably do that in like a couple of years.
But a lot of those people who do those public speaking, like just an example, like Tony Robbins or Les Brown, they don't have PhDs.
Right. I legit, like if I'm gonna do this, I want to be a counselor for real.
Oh, okay. Like
I have
high school counselor?
I have a friend who's always looking for people who are interested in that field.
Oh yeah.
So maybe I'll slide
That's cool.
that over your
Nice
way.
little hookup. Yeah. Anything from
she's always posting like, hey, is anyone looking to get into this field? No experience, whatever. Just let
Word.
me know. Shit like
nice.
It just
I like
trips
that
me out.
friendship support that you two have together. I like that.
Keenan's like, yeah, I have. Do you want to throw
So
something my way?
I'm not throwing anything at Keenan. So
I know he admitted it, and I don't know why I take it. I don't know why I'm not upset. I should be upset about that.
that's not true.
Keenan, does somebody else's shine take away from your shine?
A little bit. I'm a little jealous.
That's something you got to look at, my guy.
Well, listen. You just all you gotta do is just
We'll talk about it later.
okay.
Keenan's like, I don't want to be on the hot seat right now.
All right.
Right.
I know Joe. It's cool.
Just again, the self-sabotage mostly comes from the fact that like you got to own your shit.
And that's where this comes.
And sit there. Yeah.
Yeah.
The higher you go, the harder, the more chances of falling really hard are going to be, right?
Yeah.
So,
like
ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out Pushing Past the Norm.
Sidestepping.
Hopefully, it's what?
The subtitle. You got to do the whole title.
Oh, sorry. Pushing Past the Norm.
Oh, sidestepping the mind of life.
Hey.
Did I do that wrong? You
The
wanna try
mind
it
game
again?
of life. Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. Me.
Pushing Past the Norm.
Sidestepping the mind game of life.
Ooh. And this is no.
And you know what's crazy is that title was chosen over a bunch of titles I put by all the people who were interested in supporting me in this.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's just as much their book as it is mine.
So technically, Philly is going to be a billionaire bookseller, and then we're just going to ride his.
I don't know. I'm good, bro. I'm chill.
I'm going to be right by his side at every book signing. Be like, I know this dude. I got it.
Keenan's that one dude.
Keenan's gonna start Cipuento Publishing, so he can like.
Keenan's that one dude. What is it? That Chris Rock shit where they're like, you don't blow up, you just show up. Realness of America. What's that?
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Some people may not get that reference. It's kind of like an older generation
yeah.
reference.
Oh man.
Just like some people don't know, don't recognize Chappelle references.
Oh, they don't.
Like, yeah, and I'm like, what the?
Wait, did this
Wow.
happen to you at the office or what?
No, like just recently, I'll be out somewhere and
You
I'll
make
do
it-
like a Chappelle reference from the Chappelle show and be like, what's that?
Damn.
Are they younger? Are they younger than you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe's like, oh God.
I'm like, how do you not know
That
Chappelle?
was super recent.
We think it was.
I know,
it
yeah.
was like what 2000.
You know what's really cool?
34.
Xavier could get the Mambo King, and
What?
everybody's like, exactly.
What is
That's what it feels. That's what it feels like.
Oh shit.
What the hell?
So
Keenan's
everybody
like,
knows.
what the fuck? He's like offended that he doesn't know the reference.
Everybody knows I don't believe in God.
You said you're going to take a time machine and do a drive-by on Jesus.
Straight up.
You said that?
Yeah, I've been re-listening to the old podcast.
Yeah.
Joe said you would do a drive-by on Jesus.
It was hilarious. It's I'm going to use it as
Everybody
a
was like,
snippet.
"Oh God,
That's some
what's
straight
happening?"
Family Guy skit shit.
It is. I love it.
Hey, I'm pushing the boundaries, right, guys?
He is. But you're saying something about religion. What happened?
So everybody knows you don't believe in God.
Yes, everyone
Yes.
knows I don't believe in God, but there's this delightful show that just ended. It's called The Good Place.
Oh,
I don't know if any of you
okay.
have ever watched
That's a great
it.
fucking show.
Okay.
Wow, the way it ended was just beautiful.
Better than Ballers.
And which
It just ended?
yeah, it
So
just
season
last
4.
week. Last week.
Season 4?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Oh, I
the
haven't seen any of season 4.
series finale, right?
It was
done.
the series finale.
Okay,
It's
it's done.
absolutely
Okay.
done. And I just thought it was the best. And if I were to believe in like heaven and hell
That
and
would
all
be
that
it?
shit, this would be the ideal
Oh,
scenario that I would picture. Like
Wow.
this is exactly what it should be.
That's
like,
a pretty big deal.
I know. I need to watch it now. Shit.
Yeah,
Have you not seen it at all?
Man. It's so good.
Like I said, I'm trying to not watch
Just the
anything.
concept.
Sure.
Okay, in case you guys aren't aware of the show or what it entails, basically the premise of the show is these group of people died.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up in the good place. They call it good place.
The purgatory, right?
So no.
Oh,
They call it the good place so as not to insinuate that it's heaven or hell or because of, religion and all that shit. So they're saying this is the good place and then there's the bad place too.
Right.
And then there is an in-between place, but not a lot of people are there. So, or actually only one person is there. But if you watch the show, you'll find out. But so these people are they passed away and they find themselves in the good place. But they know that they're not good people. Like they're pretty shitty people. So they're like, how the fuck did we end up here? Like,
interesting.
So it's just like the story is basically how what happens now that they know, like, yo, we're in the good place. We don't belong here. Or one of them specifically, the main character, which is Kristen Bell, she's like, yo, I know I don't belong here. So I got to do something to kind of correct my life or my afterlife so that I do end up belonging here.
Right.
And it's just, it's a crazy show how it develops. And it's just, what I love about this show is that it's completely linear. Like, so the way that an episode finishes is the way it starts.
Nice.
Is the way the next episode starts.
Okay.
Like, so there's no in between or nothing that you don't catch. Like everything, you see everything as it goes along.
Including when they take a shit and everything.
Especially. But it's cool how they mess with it because they're like, oh, we're in the good place. So the girl's like, fuck, but instead of fuck, she's like,
says
fork.
Yeah.
Like, fork.
Yeah.
What the fork is this? Like,
I saw
and
the
she's
trailer.
trying to cuss, and it's like not happening for her. She's like, oh, frustrated. She's
So
like,
you're
all right.
saying the grand finale almost made you believe if there was such a thing, it has to be.
Or you would
I
want
think-
it to be
I
that.
feel like if there was a heaven or a hell or the whole afterlife, that this would probably be a great one.
It's an acceptable thing.
It'd be an acceptable heaven or hell.
Okay.
And I just felt
It's a pretty
like,
big deal coming from you.
I think
Yeah.
it would suck if I'm not allowed afterlife to be able to see the rest of the universe or galaxy. Like, there's so much shit out there,
yeah, you gotta
and I'm
watch it.
stuck here on the planet Earth for eternity. Like,
Well, you gotta watch it.
Okay, cool.
Honestly, you gotta watch it.
Well,
because
you
it
in particular
touches-
are, Keenan. I mean, your destiny is sealed,
Oh
bro.
my God.
Your fate is sealed.
well, you
You're
guys,
never going to the stars. You're like, no, but like, I don't know if I want to.
well, you guys know when we had that topic on reincarnation, I thought, like, what if you can just be reincarnated as an alien on some other planet or dimension? You don't get reincarnated just here on Earth.
What if you were reincarnated into a world where sex doesn't exist, Keenan?
Well, it would be too natural that I'm already in that world, so I won't remember anything. I'll be adapted to.
It's like false. Roosters don't lay eggs.
It's the life I'm living right now, anyway, so I'm used to it.
Oh God. Self-deprecating humor.
It's not it's the truth. I'm spitting bars,
Oh,
sad bars,
shit.
bars of tears.
Blue bars.
blue bars.
Oh God.
Oh shit.
But yeah, I speaking on shows and linear progression, I like what Joe recommended is how not to.
Oh yeah,
Don't.
actually, you recommended it to me first, or wasn't it you?
No, it was you. I recommended
Oh, I
another
recommend-
one.
yeah.
And you recommended this one.
You were thinking it. You
How-
said it.
Said it.
Is it how not to or
Is it wrong to
Is
pick
it
up
wrong?
girls in a dungeon?
funny?
It's
show.
such a good show.
Is it like an Amazon Prime show?
No, it's an
What is
anime
that?
It's on
Hulu.
It's on Hulu.
And it's funny. It's
Oh,
funny. It's
that's
action packed.
right.
It's action packed. It's funny. Like the
Yes.
story is. It's fun. It's a fun story.
Is it on
I like it.
Funimation?
It's on
Maybe.
Funimation as well. Yeah,
Maybe.
correct.
But I like it. I like it. A lot of recommendations. It takes me a while to try and get to these because, again, I'm trying not to get involved in all this stuff. But I've been watching that. I've been watching My Hero Academia, which is also a good show too.
You know what's weird? Is almost any girl to add to your
Girl?
point. Almost any girl that likes anime, I immediately find hot. I don't
Really?
know why. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, that's hot. Just because they like anime.
Okay.
That's crazy, right? Like I automatically give them hot points. I'm like, damn.
No, because that's an interest that you have. So it's nice.
I wonder what it would be for me. Damn. That's a good thought.
She gotta have like a big ass rack and some long ass legs.
No, I meant like something that they watch or see, Joe, that they're into. Because he was not. He wasn't,
science.
Because you know what's a serious turn off to me? Like certain things that people watch, like on their Instagram or whatever. Like if
they're watching Instagram,
if it's like ignorant shit, honestly, they lose hot points. I don't care how fine someone is. I'm always like,
damn, I wonder what it'll be for me. I don't know. I really don't know what someone could do that would turn me on, or opposite.
Well, maybe that's why you.
Do I need to find something like that?
You got to know what turns you on, Keenan.
Fucking a gust of wind can turn my ass on. Like, this fucking bad. Fellatio. I don't know. I meant
What do you mean you don't know?
non-sexually. Like, Philly means watching anime for him, but I wonder what it is for me.
You know why? You know why though? Because for me, it allows me to have a conversation with them about something.
Of course.
For me, sex is just as much in the mind, man.
I know what it is.
I know it sounds crazy, but it is.
It came to me. Problem solving, like puzzles and chess and stuff like that. If I see
chests,
chess,
Chess.
plural. How do you pluralize chess?
Chess.
You can't pluralize chess.
You can't. It's chess.
So chess.
Can you say plural?
Chastises.
What is it? Plural?
Plural. Oh, fuck you, Philly.
Plural.
Anyway.
Okay, so
I'm answering the question.
Thwart?
God damn it.
Granite. Take it for granted.
Anyway. That's what I figured out. That's what I mean.
Chess, puzzle pieces.
Problem solving. Turns me on.
So you fuck.
Kenny's like,
when I see their brain working and they're like, and they squint their eyes and all that stuff, and they're like really figuring it out, and they figure it out. That's a turn on.
You get a sick boner, rock hard.
Yeah.
Rock hard boner. He has to put it up against his stomach. So nobody.
I just went from 6 to midnight. What about you, Joe? What does it for you?
That's non-sexual.
Yeah,
something that a
non-sexual.
woman
does
watches,
or just people in general.
Something like watching anime.
Shit. Damn, that's a good question.
You don't have to answer it now. You can think about it.
And for the listeners, what is it that?
Yeah, in fact, slide into Keenan's DMs.
Slide into Keenan's DMs and let him know what, not just males, not just females, but males as well. Something that's non-sexual that, gets your little things going.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, damn. Well, it's non-sexual, but it's still something that's the body related. But when they're like, I guess the word I'm looking for is like dainty, like very like an
anime character.
like when they're
feminine movements, effeminate movements.
Yeah, like I'm gonna grab this and I'm just gonna go like this, just very
something about that. You're just like
gentle,
gentle.
Okay,
high etiquette kind of thing.
Not necessarily high etiquette, but like just gentle. Like,
dainty. Yeah, dainty's the word.
Yeah, dainty. I want to say dainty is the word that I'm looking for, but it's like I'm gonna slip on my shoes, but I'm gonna do it in like the most.
Yeah.
Like
so for you, the quirkiness of that.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
The quirkiness.
The quirk being daintiness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just like, wow, they're like extra dainty about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so.
Like it's charming to you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Nice.
So now shifting from this, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
Because I sent Joe a text.
Is it the fan service?
Is that what it's called when they do that? And then like the main character accidentally falls and gets smushed in the girl's tits. And then the tits just happily juggle. Like what?
That's fan service.
He gets a red nose or red face.
Something that I wish people would understand is just because it has that doesn't diminish the quality of a show.
I don't think so. I think it's funny. It's
funny. It's funny. It's slapstick.
Yeah.
But like I know a lot of people that I'll be like, oh, you got to watch it. And then there's like even a little semblance of fan service. And they're like, oh man, that's weird. And I'm like, nah, dude, you just got to get past the mentality of that. Like it's called fan service. It's all over, like, especially in Japanese animation, it's all over Japanese animation. It happens even in the like silliest of shows. Like,
like Fairy Tale and all that stuff.
Well, The Good Place does it. And one of the running jokes in The Good Place that's fan service is that Kristen Bell's character is constantly going.
She's horny as shit.
Yeah. They're constantly. She's constantly like, "Are you hitting on me?" Because it's kind of working.
Yeah.
Oh,
But it'll be
really?
like the weirdest things.
Yeah, it'll be like,
Oh.
what? Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah. But yeah, so
He's like, now I gotta watch that fucking show.
it's a really good show, man. And now you can binge it like from
Okay,
beginning
cool.
to end, so it's
Okay.
it's good.
That's what makes it that for me to answer your question. The fan service I find, but it also satisfies the fantasy aspect, the building a crew, the going on an adventure.
Oh man, it's such a good show.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it plays into the whole MMORPG,
It does.
the genre, because that's a genre now.
Yes.
It has to be. I mean, there's the shield hero, there's
Right.
fucking sword art, there's fucking
Demon Slayer.
No, not Demon Slayer. Goblin Slayer.
Slayer. Yeah.
Like there are a bunch of shows now that are just like this is the genre now.
Yeah.
But
Guilds and quests.
Class
Yeah,
S class,
class,
A
S
class,
class,
building up your armor.
being from another world and being
Right.
summoned, like shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that. Now sticking with anime,
Mhm.
there was a you guys know how I like mech shows, and
Yeah.
giant
There's a
robots.
new one
like,
coming
that's
out?
my shit. Actually, Gundam announced that they have a new movie and a show coming out.
Like they're redoing it?
No,
or they're
no,
just,
no.
Oh.
That's what I love about Gundam. Gundam is like Final Fantasy. Like they
don't
do
correlate.
different series. Yeah, they don't
Oh.
all
They
necessarily
never
connect.
connect. Yeah.
And not that they never, because because what they did is they decided, we're gonna be multidimensional.
Okay.
So there's the Universal Century, there's Universal Century, there's After Colony, there's like these different timelines where it's the idea of Gundam, but in a different scenario each time, different world completely. Like, it could be Earth in Universal Century and an Earth in After Colony that are completely different.
cool.
So
I mean, Endless Waltz though for me really put it together.
now
with
here's the
Gundam.
thing.
What's
Okay,
in this
so
world? Is that a Gundam?
It's a Gundam movie.
It's a Gundam movie based on a show that they had called Gundam Wing.
I've heard of that.
Okay, so for me, for the longest time, Gundam Wing was like up there.
Yeah.
Like it was one of my favorites. Like because I've watched almost all the Gundam
Yeah,
series.
it's a pretty fucking
and
good.
it's thick. There's about 16 different series or worlds, and each one of those has its own like sequels and shit like that.
It's a
So
lot.
it's
plenty of content.
When we found out, when the US found out about Gundam, it was Wing, and
Yeah.
that was already 5 series in.
Yeah.
So for me, besides 0078, which is the original Gundam, that was for me, Gundam 0078 is always going to be like that show, and its sequel were fucking amazing because it was legit like depressing, but it was sometimes lighthearted, but it was a real like story.
Is it the dystopian qualities to it that really attracts you?
I think so.
Like a future where this could happen?
Yeah, so I watched that, and then because of Wing, I watched the original Gundam and got into all that. So for sure, Gundam, the original and its sequel Zeta, are gonna be like forever such good shows to me.
Because it's like the Matrix and iRobot, right? Like essentially, except with like mechs. Or was that one movie that had the mechs in it? Remember? Where
Matrix
where they-
Reloaded. No, it was
There was
Revolutions.
Yeah, there was another one though, specifically where they were. What was it? Is it there?
Well, describe the movie. Like, what was
I'm
it?
trying to remember. We all went to go see it in the theater. I don't know if you went.
Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah,
yeah. That's another one. Great.
I didn't
Same
see
thing.
the
It's that
sequel.
dystopian future.
Yeah.
Right.
So again, but it's not always dystopian.
Mm.
Like this is just like colonial wars and colonization, and it touches stuff like that.
War.
So
huh?
yeah,
You're
war.
in Aries. That makes sense.
So
God of War.
can you read my sign? Like, what the fuck? Like, can you tell
Fuck
me
outta
what the
here, my
stars
guy.
are telling me?
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
What are you, my fucking therapist? Take a
so
walk.
again, so Gundam was always like, that's it. That was the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, there's like, because of Wing, I watched the original Gundam. And so for me, Wing was always like, damn,
It's pretty fucking good.
it's 50 episodes and it's like intense, but it's also a product of its time. So it came out like in 1995 or
It's got-
4,
there's
something
some
like
dated-
that.
Gotcha, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's dated. I mean, the voice acting was probably not the best. Like, oh, Tro, what are you doing here? You know, so it's
better with subtitles.
It's very much a product of its age.
Okay.
So there was a Gundam series that came out in 2015. It's called Iron-Blooded Orphans. Holy shit.
Like you just recently saw it?
I was going to say, you never knew about it?
I finished it yesterday.
Wow, okay.
I knew about it. I just hadn't had an opportunity to watch it because there was a time where like the anime scene was just like,
there was so much,
there was so much to watch, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get around to it. I put it on my queue, and I'm like, yeah, I'll get around to it.
So you finally did it.
I finally got around to watching Iron-Blooded.
Is the climax
Orphans.
as worth it as possible?
It is, to me. It's one
better
of
than
the
Wing?
best. Off,
Oh, really?
Damn.
bruh.
Gotta watch that.
It's
Because Wing was definitely my shit.
It's think about Wing like on a higher level, because the acting, the voice acting,
And
is
the
on
animation
point.
quality is
The
probably
animation quality is on point.
Yeah.
The story,
Yeah.
mwah,
I
it's like kissing a butthole. Mwah.
I'll watch an episode tonight.
I've
I'm
never
kinda
done
curious.
that,
Where can
but,
we see it?
You should. It's very good. It's
Wait,
very
Have
Kissing
you
the
eaten
butthole?
ass, Joe?
Of course. Who hasn't eaten ass? You
Now,
haven't eaten ass?
Keaton said, I would neither confirm nor deny.
I eat the booty like groceries. What's up?
like groceries. What does ass taste like, Joe?
I mean,
Is it like?
I mean,
is
you gotta
grimy?
clean it, obviously.
You gotta
Wait,
clean
you clean it,
it.
but it's a human. It's like sort of like a human organ on the outside, right? Because it's like it's not exactly like dry. It's not
You know
like
what?
it
You know
tastes
what?
like
This-
sex juices. How
This
about
is
that?
this is neither here nor there. Anyway.
Anyway,
Anime.
so
You like-
I know. How do we? Okay, so
I was curious.
So
That'll be my new
Iron-Blooded
CQCQ.
Orphans is like, it's a 50 episode show, and it is just fucking
Where can we see it?
tragic. Like, okay,
Oh.
so if you've watched Gundam shows, they're not.
People die.
Yeah, people
Okay.
will die.
Okay.
So,
And they don't get wished back.
no, they don't.
They're gone
Like
for
they're
good.
gone, and
Okay.
they die. Like I'm talking
Oh, yeah?
about, like they die.
Like Game of Thrones shit.
Like yes.
Consequences.
So Iron-Blooded Orphans is like a Game of Thrones. It's like,
Oh.
yo, don't fall in love with any character because you don't know if they're gonna.
That's
fucking
good to know.
live.
So I won't
And
tear up.
and but that the beautiful thing is that that's how all Gundam shows. Well, a lot of Gundam series are like that. You
Mhm.
know, like they show the reality of war. Like
Ah.
you're not gonna survive, and if you do survive, you're not gonna necessarily be happy.
And
Like,
this one's the 2015 one you're talking about.
2015 Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Can we watch it on Hulu or Netflix?
Yeah, it's actually on Hulu.
I'm watching it tonight.
It blew my fucking mind.
Nice.
Now, one of the reasons, because you guys know that I'm all about camaraderie and I love shows or, you know, anything that has to do with like, you know, brotherhood and we're brothers and this and that. Have you seen Brotherhood? Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
I only seen like a few episodes.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not
another
deep into
great
it.
series. That's another
That's
beautiful
different from
series.
the original Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, because the original one that came out first,
And I only saw a few episodes of that too.
I think only the first 15 episodes were stuck true to the source material, and then they just went their own way from it. Brotherhood actually sticks to all the source material.
That's the one where they get into like the homunculi and all that.
They
other
both do. Both of the shows do. But the first series kind of did its own thing. It did what it wanted with its own with the characters. You know, they strayed past and all this.
By the way,
But
if you don't
Brotherhood-
listen to anime and you're listening to this, just know that it might be something to consider watching one or two of.
Absolutely, yeah.
And if you do, if you can't stand it, DM us anyways and let us know that you
Actually,
can't stand
the
it.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is a great anime to start. If you've never watched an anime, watch Brotherhood, because that doesn't really have a lot of fan service. It has a lot of comedic moments, but then it's a very serious story.
What is the show that is a good startup? Because I think Cowboy
Full
Bebop
Metal.
is one of
No,
no.
I wouldn't say Cowboy Bebop. No,
Oh.
I think if you're gonna watch, because
Whatever
it's gonna
you
be
say,
too
Keenan,
confusing.
it's wrong.
No, the only reason I say that
That
is
was
because
my start.
the only reason I say that is because Cowboy Bebop is non-linear. Like it's not a linear story. Like it's episodic.
Right.
So you're not really gonna.
as an intro to the anime scene?
Yeah, I don't think it's a good one because you kind of already have to have a taste for anime to be able to watch.
I would say do like a Miyazaki film if you're gonna go into.
But that's
film.
I mean, yeah,
maybe
you might want to do
because
that.
a lot of people
like
tell me
Akira.
that's what I don't think.
Akira's too heavy. No,
yeah,
I think it'd be too heavy.
It's a good intro.
I think people would be like, "Oh, what the fuck?" Like,
yeah,
it's pretty heavy. But I think honestly, Full Metal is a pretty
Dragon
good
Ball?
one. It's 101 episodes, or it's like
most people know Dragon Ball Z and they think all anime is basically like that.
See, that's why
bad.
that's another thing.
Okay.
It's like, no, that's why I think Full Metal is a really
good
intro to anime.
Okay.
If you've never watched it, even for those who have watched anime, like Full Metal is probably if you look it up on if you look up maybe greatest animes of all time,
it would be Full Metal.
It's definitely up into maybe like the top 20 for sure. It has to be in the top 20.
Okay.
So, and for those of you who don't know, animation in particular in Japan is like something even adults like thoroughly enjoy. It's like a cultural staple.
That is their movie.
Yeah.
That is their TV.
In fact,
it's part of their entertainment culture.
It's the equivalent of pottery that's found in ancient civilizations. It's a staple of their culture.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's not something where you're like, I'm too old to watch cartoons.
No such thing.
And in fact, the themes themselves sometimes are easier to digest because there are some certain themes that you can't manage to put in a film without crossing some lines. But in animes, it's been particular in Japanese animes, they really are able to explore more of the human psyche and stories that aren't necessarily possible in a real action film.
They take it seriously. Like we have, for us, it's because we have Disney. I think that was our problem. We don't really have a lot of serious animation films that are PG-13 or rated R.
Right. You're absolutely
Warner Brothers attempted at it with some stuff, and then you had some side companies that do the cat, but we don't have a lot of good animation studios that will do PG-13 or rated R content
to like explore themes that aren't necessarily.
Yeah, if you guys ever get a chance to watch like some American funded adult animation, consider watching, and some people might not consider this adult, but consider watching Avatar or The Legend of Korra. Those are really well made American productions. I mean, they outsource, to Asia. I think they do it either Korea or South Korea.
I mean, the last Avatar is something I think a lot of people are familiar with.
Yeah, that's a really good work piece or work.
What about the Nickelodeon Last Airbender?
That's
the cartoon.
That's
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, Avatar. Oh, you just did the first time. Okay,
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I also think if you like scary movies, watching Attack on Titan is a great fucking situation to put yourself in.
Yeah,
and then American though.
What I'm saying is American because another one is Young Justice. If you guys haven't seen Young Justice,
because the superhero trends, that's a great way to.
It's a thing. Okay, so. A lot of people have seen Teen Titans. They know about the Teen Titans or Teen Titans Go. So what Young Justice does is brought it to a more mature audience.
And for us, that was the Batman series that came out on Warner Brothers, wasn't it? That was a little bit more mature than most.
Oh,
cartoons.
yeah. That's another one. Batman, the animated series.
Yeah.
And that spawned the Justice League, that spawned Superman, the animated series.
Such a great
Static
show.
Shock, like all these Batman Beyond, that started that.
Batman
too.
Beyond, man.
It all happened because of Batman, because of what's his name? Tim Bruce Timm.
Who did the animation style.
Yeah. So you should check that out too. But I'm sorry, I've gone off on a tangent about adult animation.
That's fine.
But
essentially, check some shit out, and Gundam Wing is dope.
Iron Blood Orphans. Let me just give you a quick synopsis of what it's about.
Yeah.
So in this world, this Gundam world, there was a 300 years prior to the start of this show, there was something called the Calamity War. So that's what they base their timeline on. So this takes place like 3 something ACW after Calamity War. After Calamity War, So, just the same way we do AD and so what happens is like Mars has been colonized, it's been terraformed, so now you can live in Mars and breathe and everything. But the Earth still has kind of like a hold on Mars, and Mars is trying to become independent. Now, what's happened is that Mars, it's kind of like the Wild West, and there are companies that have founded themselves in Mars who do trade and do all this stuff, but they also have their own militaries. So what happens is like these companies, since they don't have really restrictions, they just know that the governing body is the Earth. They hire children, like child soldiers and like all this stuff. So this story is about this group of child soldiers who decide that they don't want to be child soldiers anymore, and they want to like go against that and go against the people who have oppressed them. And so you basically see these kids become like find their own place in this world. And it's fucking dope. It's really good. Like the characters are well rounded, and
so it's kind of like a Star Wars situation where the theme is really rebellion.
Yes.
Set during a future world time.
It's anti-colonialism.
Yeah.
If I had to say something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anti-colonialism.
If I had to put something on it.
Yeah.
So it's a really good show. If you guys get an opportunity to ever watch it, it's on Hulu for sure. Iron-Blooded Orphan.
Oh, it's on Hulu. Dope. Yeah, crazy.
It's definitely not for kids. And there are a lot of themes in there too that are super questionable, but you kind of just have to watch.
Okay.
Like there are a lot of things in that show that are like really questionable, like I said, child soldiers and
Sure.
and marrying into families and the process of that. Like there's a lot of shit that's just
crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, crazy.
And with that, we have reached the soapbox hour.
Sorry guys, I filled all that in with.
Well, we eventually will get to a moment where I just talk for like 30 minutes about something.
Did I pull a Philly?
You're back here. You're back, Joe. You're back. You're back with us.
But you see, like
right now, you're in Pasadena.
For me, it doesn't trouble me at all.
We're teasing you, man.
It doesn't tell me keep no, what I want to bring up is like, you want to talk about teasing? No. Because did you hear what Keenan said? He was like, no, it's cool. Eventually I'll get to a place where I get to do that too, where I get to talk for a very long time.
You mad, bro?
Keenan, someone else's shine doesn't take away from your shine, man.
Yes, it does. And that's my belief, Philly. No, I was kidding.
Aye.
Soapbox, yes.
There you go, Keenan. Start it off.
Do we do explanation or just go into it?
Oh, yeah.
If this is your first time listening, the Soapbox segment is a segment that we have started to do since pretty much, I think the third episode, I think it was.
Yeah, it might have been like
around the time that Keenan came on, we had started doing this. And essentially it's an uninterrupted segment of time where if it's a guest, they go first. Otherwise, Keenan usually does this first, then I, and then Joe. And it's an uninterrupted time for you to say what you got to say to the world, whether it's a complaint, a promotion, an insight. The time is yours to do with as you please, and we respect it. Sometimes we break the rules if it's funny enough. But otherwise, we're going to give the mic over to Keenan and let him handle his business.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Philly. My soapbox is education. And I'm going to try and make this as short as I can because it was really crazy. But it's kind of a long story, but I want to go through it quick to get to my point where I had a conversation with someone who was young at a party recently, and it got into conspiracy theory stuff about flat Earth and landing on the moon if the world is round and all that stuff. And he believed, or apparently he did some research, quote unquote, and received information that the Earth wasn't flat, but it wasn't round either. And I kind of supported the theory that, yes, science have claimed that it's more of like a egg pear shaped kind of, we're not perfectly spherical. But then it got into like the moon landing and stuff like that. And then most important was the pictures of the planet Earth were fake, even if the ones that were perfectly round are also fake and photoshopped. And obviously I know I'm a little bit biased coming from an engineering background, but I still see their point of view inside. I try to find the common ground if I can. However, the thing that was in my mind was that here's somebody who was so determined on believing this concept, and didn't entrust the people that are dedicating their entire lives to go find out that information for you and give it to you. I was trying to relay this to him, but I couldn't get a good feedback or answer. Where it was like, if you were asking questions about this planet, and a group of people said, "All right, we have the same questions too. Let's go and build something and fly out, or to get cameras and make and invent and spend years and decades and generations of life and mathematics, physics, and figure all this stuff out. Get to the point where you can answer your question, get some evidence, and take photos, and then bring them back, and then give it to you, and then you go, no, I don't believe that." Is really, it just messed with my mind. It was like, how can you come up to this conclusion and understanding where somebody has taken the effort of their whole life to find out what you're really looking for, and then somebody else who has no relation to that field comes up with their own hypothesis and guessing and pulling stuff without going out in the space, for this example, and finding out for themselves to believe in. And it made me think like, well, how is it that you can even ride in a car and believe everything that's there? And I could say that it's run by trees and plants, and you would be able to say, well, that's impossible and all that stuff. But it's like, you don't know everything about a car or built it or seen it. So I could literally make up anything you want, but yet somehow you believe that this that is in front of you counteracts that statement. And it was really perplexing. That made me think about the whole education system and how it led to somebody, because he seemed like a smart kid and graduated high school and went to college, I think, or something like that. And to be able to go through this process and then have it just derailed because of the internet and someone he may or may not even met, to not even do their own research. And I do encourage people to do their own research. However, obviously not everybody can build a rocket ship and go into space. So you kind of have to entrust other people, which I know can be very difficult because people are misleading to others and that happens. But for something this serious, I just don't, I haven't really formulated a good enough words to really help with this situation. It kind of goes to what we were talking about before about if somebody's set in their own ways and mindset, it's very hard to defer them to anything else, which really, really sucks. So my soapbox is try to do your own research, but entrust that there are people out there who have the same questions you have and are willing to pretty much dedicate their entire livelihood to finding out that answer. Yeah.
Dope. All right, let me.
What's that, Joe?
Joe was going to comment, and then he realized we're not supposed to comment. But then it's like, we made the rules. We can break them.
But I said I don't care. I don't know.
No, I wasn't going to comment on
I thought you
I
was
was
just
going to say that was Cianan Duncan with his.
And I hope I wasn't being gibberish too, because I'm trying to come to a straight point of like.
I get it. How can somebody who
study.
can't claims to be that educated turn around and take a tertiary source and be like, oh yeah, that's a fact? Like, I don't know. Is it? How can you just take that? You know, so I get it.
Yeah, and I kind of agree. Like,
I blame Gaia.
Oh God, I kind of agree.
The documentary.
Yeah, geez. Where if you can't see it, taste it, or touch it, how do you know it's true? I understand that. Like, outside this building, the world could have literally ended, and I have no idea because I'm not out there.
Thank you, Cianan.
Oh, fuck you, Joe.
Your time is over.
Are you gonna play me out?
Kill the animal.
Come on, my baby. Come on, my darling. Well, it's cool. That reference might be a little too old for some of our listeners,
or all of them. Shit.
So I again, I don't have anything prepared, but what I will say is this: in going after, I'm not scared to like go up in front of people and sing or act or anything. But one thing that I've always been kind of nervous about is like the shit that I write, because for some reason, me looking bad as a singer or as an actor or whatever, like, it doesn't faze me. But about the shit that I write, I realize it makes me kind of nervous sometimes because I'm like, oh wow, I don't know, it might be trash or this or that. It's for me, it's a little more sensitive, especially when it's an entire book that I'm trying to put out. Right, for me, that's like, it's kind of an embarrassing admission, but I think there's something to be said in that. If I can impart anything, is it's that whole age old, what scares you the most is probably something you should pursue and like face, because there's a reason you're having that kind of reaction to it. It doesn't fucking scare me to get up and do a freestyle, even in front of the dopest rappers. I will literally battle rap Eminem if he wanted to, and it wouldn't make me blink an eye. Like I'd be like, yeah, of course I lost. You know what I mean? Or if I won, I'd be like, God damn, I won. But writing a book for me or like putting that out. So if whatever you have, that's what I'm trying to say. Whatever you have going on in your world that makes you kind of nervous, listen to that shit and like do something about it. And I promise you start to see yourself differently. Because if there are people who talking in front of people is like, they choose death over public speaking, right? Not everybody does, but there are some people who literally will start shaking and breaking a fucking sweat before they even started going up there. And I get it. And it's important that you get that out of your system because public speaking is going to become more and more of a thing everywhere you go, especially as the workplace turns from a regular job place to a gig economy. It's going to be a real thing moving forward. Do not doubt that. Blended workspaces are going to be a real thing. Get with it. That being said, though, whatever makes you nervous, fucking lift up that rock, see what's under there. Even if all that it gives you is, oh, I guess it wasn't that bad. That's all I gotta say.
Nope.
That was Philip Lanos with his soapbox talk.
Thank you, Philly.
Thank you, Philip.
Joe, take us home.
Yeah, motherfucker. I'm about to take all y'all motherfuckers home. Good. Earth down look. So guys, make sure, I'm pretty sure we'll post about it, Pushing Past the Norm. We're hoping that it comes out this week, the week of February 3rd.
6th.
No, but the week
of.
Oh,
Yeah.
3rd.
Yeah.
So,
hopefully.
and then make sure you send a shout out to Filthy. His birthday is on Thursday. And that should be great. Just send him a slide into Cianan's DM and wish Philly happy birthday. Why are you guys talking? This is my soapbox. He's like, I haven't said anything. No, but that wasn't my soapbox. I was segueing out of Philly's into mine.
But that wasn't my soapbox.
But yeah, Pushing Past the Norm. I'm not going to read the whole title because it's too far away from me. Sidestepping the Mind Game of Life by Philip Lanos. It's going to be on Amazon, so and Kindle and all that shit.
Wherever books are.
Wherever books are sold. Beefy books. All right. So a couple things I'd like to just note. That I think would be nice to address. So we are on day 7 of Kobe Bryant's death, and LA Live is still fucking packed. If you guys are in LA or know LA, we have downtown LA has a little entertainment center called LA Live, and it's right directly across the street from the Staples Center where the Lakers play. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen it on the news or have seen clips of it. But yeah, it's still packed. People are still, heading over there and showing their respects to Kobe Bryant and his daughter Cianan and all the other people. That's another thing. Like, yes, we understand 9 people died, but are we really being politically correct by saying that? I don't know. I'm being weird. Anyway, but yeah. So people are still showing their respect, and definitely LA has taken a hit. And you can notice it. There's if you've ever been to LA, it's a pretty cutthroat environment, and no one really cares about anyone, and you can bump into someone and be like, what the fuck? But this week people have like been loving each other for sure. It was a crazy loss. Speaking of losses, the San Francisco 49ers lost. So congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. they have won a Super Bowl 54. So congratulations to them. Patrick Mahomes has been stellar, and he really pulled it off. I think the score was 30-21, or 20, something like that, or 31-20, something. Yeah, I think that might have been it. But yeah, so the Super Bowl is over, and I'm so happy that it's over, because now I don't have to deal with that bullshit or people talking. Anyway, the Oscars are next week. Nobody cares. Nobody's gonna watch. It's gonna become video on demand because And then last but not least, make sure to fucking watch Iron Blood Orphan. It's such a good show, man. And just give anime a chance, Well, there's a lot of fan service, but you know what? Like, just give anime a chance. Like, I guarantee that you'll find something in anime, and there's just a plethora of genres, and there's slice of life, which is just nothing special. It's just shows about just living daily life, going to school, or falling in love, or anything like that. They're the super action packed. There's the shows that have a shitload of fan service. They're the horror shows. I mean, there's a lot of anime out there, and I'm sure there's something for everyone. So give it a chance. Give it a chance, because there are millions of people who already do. So it can definitely grow. And hey, guys, if you know anyone who has access to like voiceovers and stuff, I'd love to be able to do a voiceover. So if you have anything coming up, any project, and you need a voice, and you like how I sound, holler at me, because I'd love to be on your project and voice a character. Maybe that's something that a goal that I'd like to achieve for myself, since I've reached my plateau and I'm already the best at what I do. I'd love to be a voice actor. So, Johnny Young Bosch, what's up, dog? Like, you don't listen to the pod, but if somebody who knows you does, or even Steve Blum. Yeah, he's dope as fuck too. There's a new DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3. Check that out. There's they announced the Clone Wars. Clone Wars will be out at the end of the month, the 22nd or the 23rd. So I'm super excited about that. We're gonna finally get a real conclusion to one of the greatest bits of Star Wars lore, or canon, because everything that happened in Clone Wars actually happened, not in real life, but as far as canon is concerned. So if you believe that you're a Star Wars fan, you need to watch Clone Wars, because you're not going to get the full taste of what Star Wars really is until you watch Clone Wars. I feel like I've said this before. Same with Rebels, but not Resistance, because Resistance is trash. I tried loving it, but I couldn't. It's too kiddie, and it's just trash. With that being said, remember to love your friends, and give it your all. Mamba for life. That's it. There she goes, lovely and special. Yeah, she got a bad. Yeah, all you wanna do is fuck. Oh, how I'm loving you, baby. Oh, I am like Patrick Swayze. Eat your woman out. Suck your man's dick.
Buy my book.
Hey!
And most importantly, give it away.
Ooh, hey, yeah. You don't hear that often enough, but yeah. if you have a book, you're supposed to give it away eventually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't hear that often, but yes, it's a unspoken rule. Love you. Bye, bitch.